Montgomery, Alabama. A vision some 15 years in the making comes to life as Alabama State opens the doors of its new on-campus stadium. It is a perfect day to open up new ASU Stadium in downtown Montgomery, Alabama. ESPNU College Football presented by McDonald's welcomes you to HBCU's oldest classic, the '89 Turkey Day Classic, as Tuskegee comes in at 9-1, trying to win its 10th in a row against Alabama State, trying to win its 4th in a row to finish 2012. Welcome into the broadcast booth and happy Thanksgiving alongside Jay Walker, Joe Davis on hand. This is a day that's been a decade and a half in the making. They've been talking about opening up this on-campus stadium. The day's finally here, and you couldn't ask for a better day at a better facility.
I mean, this is just coming together perfectly for Alabama State. Now they just have to win the football game, but the new Hornets nest is phenomenal. We've been all over the country. I don't know if we've seen something that's this nice. New technology, everything you want. And I think this is a day that's bigger than Alabama State. This is a historic day for HBCUs across the country. Stand up, be proud. This is something phenomenal. Everybody that's a fan of black college football should be proud of this day in this stadium.
And then there's actually the game on the field, which is going to go on, and it's going to be a good one. You've got two FBS transfers at running back. Isaiah Crowell for Alabama State, who's a transfer from Georgia. Eric Washington for Tuskegee, transferred in from Missouri.
And what you're going to see is with Derek Washington and Tuskegee, they will force feed the football to Washington. He's got almost 1,400 yards on the year. They're going to find a way to make him run the football. Isaiah Crowell at Alabama State, they're still trying to figure out how to use him best. But when they do get the football in his hands, he's a phenomenal football player with excellent speed and talent.
Willie Slater took over this Tuskegee program in 2005, now in his 7th season, and he's 64-13. And then Reggie Barlow in his 6th season went 12-21 in his first 3 seasons, but he's 22-11 in the last 2+ seasons as head coach at his alma mater. And Tuskegee won the toss today and deferred to the second half, so Barlow's Alabama State team will receive. And get us going on a perfect day for football. Eduardo Murillo sends it away to Jarrett Neely. Watch it bounce out of bounds, and Alabama State to begin at the 25. Now the Hornets.
Free kick out of bounds. Tuskegee, Alabama State to take the ball at the 35-yard line.
Shut out of the SWAC championship by virtue of a tiebreaker for a 3rd straight year. Now trying to cap 2012 with their 4th straight win against this Tuskegee team, trying to get its 10th in a row after dropping one opening week to SWAC opponent Alabama A&M by an extra point.
And the difference in teams, at that point, Derek Washington was new, his first game there. They keyed on him, didn't know how to use him best. Now, Coach Slater has Tuskegee pointed in the right direction.
Well, Greg Jenkins has been the starter at quarterback all season for ASU, but he'll play receiver and running back today. So Daniel Duhart, a redshirt freshman, will get the start at quarterback. And there's Jenkins lined up in the slot to get us going.
Yeah, Jenkins is right here, so follow him today and see the different positions he lines up. And when he's in the game, they're going to try and get him the football.
5 yards, replay, first down.
How do you ever delay a game before your first play, Jay?
I think that's a question. Maybe everybody's emotions are running high. We were concerned about the players being able to handle the atmosphere.
So Duhart getting the start at quarterback, plenty capable, completing just under 70% of his passes this year. Here's the guy who's replacing Greg Jenkins. Getting a on that jet sweep play. William Buford's up to make the stop, but Jenkins, who they're showcasing for NFL scouts, our impact player today.
Yeah, and you see what a phenomenal athlete he is. We normally just had quarterback there. He's an athlete. He'll be all over the field, running, throwing, catching, doing it all. He's got to show up big for Alabama State today to help lessen the load on Isaiah Crowell. And Adam Lucas, a cornerback, you see the 6 interceptions there. When they try and throw it, he's got to be around the ball.
Here's the reigning freshman of the year in the SEC, Isaiah Crowell, getting 2 yards. The Georgia transfer, 3rd leading rusher in the SWAC, and this is his first season at Alabama State.
And we've seen it at times, the flashes of brilliance that Crowell possesses. They've got the ability to be a first-round NFL draft pick. They're still trying to figure out, is he a better runner in between the tackles, or do we put him on the edge?
Jenkins back in there, quarterback on 3rd and 5, and he finds Marcus Gamble, who's shy of the first down. Wayvon Taylor came over from his middle linebacker spot to end the play. It'll be 4th and 1, and if you're Coach Barlow here, what do you do on the opening possession?
You're on the road. You're the bigger program. You're supposed to be the bigger team. I think you go for it right now. I would actually say let's establish, control the line of scrimmage, and see if we can get a yard on this smaller Tuskegee defense.
Instead, they bring the punt team onto the field and a guy with NFL potential in Bobby Wenzel. Desmond Reese back to receive him. Reese signals for a fair catch, and Tuskegee will begin at the 11-yard line. Let's take a look at what's on tap for our broadcast today on this Thanksgiving Thursday. Of course, opening in this new stadium in Montgomery. We'll detail that. Jay will tour you through it. And also tour you through his best games this weekend with Walker's Weekend Watch. Not only are they opening the new stadium, not only is it Thanksgiving, but it's homecoming at Alabama State. Plenty of activities to the day that we'll detail over the course of our broadcast. Here's Justin Narrett, a sophomore out of Evergreen, Alabama. Moved into the starting role at the end of last season as a true freshman and has really progressed in this offense. And they'll throw on the first play. Lofty one from Markel Gardner. Coverage from Saeed Lee. But it's 2nd down and 10 as we take a look at our impact players. And for Tuskegee up front, it's this entire offensive line.
Yeah, they've got to be able to move the pile. Back up this aggressive Hornet defensive line front. They want to run the football. They will run the football on 3rd and 10. So they've got to gain control of the line of scrimmage. And if you're Alabama State, Jimmy Daniels, throughout his whole career, he's only had 1 game where he has not had a tackle for loss. They need that streak to continue here today.
5th in the country, 17.5 tackles for loss this season. The senior out of Oglethorpe, Georgia. Nard out of the shotgun for 2nd and 10. Off of the zone read, splits through a couple of defenders and gets 5 where Drakeway Everett pulls him down. And it's 3rd and 5 on this opening possession for Tuskegee. This offensive line for the Golden Lions with a 37-pound per man advantage up front over a higher classification in an FCS program. Tuskegee's D2.
Yeah, they're vertically challenged. He's got a couple guys there at 6'5", 6'3", but 6 feet, 6'2", wide bodies.
First 3rd down of the day for Tuskegee on this first drive. Nard's 2nd throw is on the money to move the chains. It's Mark Hughes for 14 yards to the 30. Hughes with just his 6th catch of the season.
And they don't throw the ball too often with Nard. It's got to be an obvious pass situation, but he delivers a good strike there to get the ball before Kewan Riley can come up and dislodge the wide receiver from the ball. If he can complete some big throws like that, Alabama State's going to be in trouble.
Tuskegee moves the chains without a touch for Derek Washington.
That'll change soon.
I'm assuming it's going to change right here if I put my money on it. Here is Washington with a short toss running downhill for a solid 1st down gain. He gets 8. Kewan Riley with a stop. Washington a finalist for the Harlan Hill Trophy, which is Division II's version of the Heisman Trophy.
Averaging 8 yards per carry at the running back position, and you got a good look at it right there. Strong kid when he gets the ball, not easy to bring down. Averages 8 yards a carry on his very first carry here today. 8 yards.
First and only season at Tuskegee. Transfer from Missouri, where he's a 2-time honorable mention all Big 12 performer. Back to him on 2nd and 2 with a cutback for a 1st down. Eric Washington, 6 feet, 215 pounds. Led Missouri as a sophomore and as a junior in rushing. What a find he's been for this Tuskegee program transferring in.
And they use him the right way. When you've got a big, strong running back, run him like a big, strong running back. In between the tackles, move the pile, get that push, that forward lean. And that's why they've had so much success once they figured out that's his style of play.
Off play action, pocket collapsing, and Nard is sacked. Carlton Jones, a preseason all-SWAC selection, gets his first of the season. It's a loss at 9, and it's 2nd and 19.
That was a great job by the Hornets of just collapsing the pocket, nowhere to go. You're going to see Carlton Jones come from right here, beat his man, but watch the outside pursuit by Jimmy Daniels as well. This is how you cave in the pocket. There's nowhere for him to go, nowhere to step up, nowhere to bounce outside. That's controlling the line of scrimmage, beating your man off the snap.
So behind the chains now for this run-oriented offense, and a flag down that'll move him back even farther. George McCullum.
Offense, 74, 5 yards, replay, 2nd down.
Head referee today, the SWAC crew. It's Chris Tolbert, the left tackle, first team All-SIAC, called for the penalty. So 2nd and 23 for this Tuskegee offense on its opening possession, and this is not a spot where they're usually successful because of what they do, and that is run the ball.
I mean, running the ball, that's the key. Every coach you know in America says we must run the football. I mean, you've got teams that plan on throwing it 50, 60 times if they say, well, we've got to be able to run. Well, in the case of Tuskegee, they're going to run it regardless of the down and distance.
Already the 7th play of this drive, which started at the 11. It's a screen, and it's sniffed out by Brandon Slater, who can't get Washington in the open field. So Kewan Riley flies up from his safety spot, and it's 3rd down.
Yeah, that's an interesting matchup there. Kewan Riley, who will be playing on Sundays this time next year from the free safety position. He was fired up for this game, and he's saying, hey, this is where a game I get to prove my tackling skills. We know he's one of the best ball hawks in the secondary in terms of interceptions, but he's trying to say his senior year, he can play closer to the line of scrimmage, and see right there, getting physical with big Derek Washington.
3rd of the SIAC on 3rd down this season. It's normally because they're good on 1st and 2nd down and can run it with Washington, but here it's 3rd and 17. Nard with time to take a shot into coverage. And that ball is caught. Are you kidding me? Markel Gardner against Marcus Bird. It's a gain of 43 yards and a 1st down for Tuskegee.
This is just all about concentration. You got to give credit to the defensive back, Marcus Bird. Went up, got it at his highest point, but the ball just did not deflect away. Landed right in the lap of Markel Gardner, and he just had the recognition to see the ball and hold on to it for the big completion for the Golden Tigers.
Gardner, a guy that Willie Slater said has been a godsend for this program, transferred away momentarily to South Alabama, but he's back and has been huge. Washington is bottled up on the option play, getting just 2 on 1st down. Edward Mosley's over to make the tackle. It'll be 2nd down and 8. This is the 89th installment of the longest running HBCU Classic, dating back to 1924. On campus for the first time since '72, and then at the old Hornets Stadium, which is now the practice field for Alabama State.
Look at that. Tuskegee leads the series. So you're talking about the Division II program leading the series over the FCS program, Alabama State, but it goes way back. And Tuskegee for years was the winningest program in HBCU football.
2nd down and 9, and Crow with his first touch of the day, moving the pile forward to make it 3rd and much more comfortable for this run-oriented Tuskegee offense. It'll be 3rd down and 5 on this first drive for the Golden Tigers.
And when you've got the type of offensive play selection, I would not be surprised to see Tuskegee maybe line up with a 3 wide receiver formation, but plan on getting the ball to Washington running.
Out of the eye on 3rd down. Nard with time, but held on to it too long and will go down. It's Willie Roller and Chris Terry there for the sack. And 4th down coming up.
Penetration again, and they're dropping back. Nowhere to go, only a 2 wide receiver route. Alabama State had 5 people back in coverage on those 2 wide receivers. Nowhere to go with the football. All Nair could do was just eat the football.
So Edward Murillo, who's just 5 of 10 this season, will attempt a 38-yarder. Trying to get Tuskegee on the board first. A line drive that sneaks through, and Tuskegee scores on its opening possession. Murillo with a 38-yarder. And Alabama State's offense back onto the field on this beautiful Thanksgiving Day in Montgomery. We come back. Opening up the new stadium today. New ASU Stadium. Perfect facility. Trying to christen it with a win. The offense touches again after this.
The Judgment Day is approaching.
34-yard return for Jarrett Neely. The touchdown for Tuskegee. Some opening day jitters for this Alabama State team. Opening day of this new stadium, we should say.
And everybody was wondering what the emotions would do. I mean, this is phenomenal in terms of the atmosphere. And I do like the job that Coach Barlow relayed to his team. He said, you know, this game is bigger than you. There's no doubt about it. This is a generation of Hornets in the making, wish they had this opportunity. But then towards the end of the week, he realized he had to taper off some of that enthusiasm and let the guys focus on the football game. And falling behind by a field goal early is not the way they draw it up.
And it's not a team you want to fall too far behind. Yeah, it's a Division II team, but it's the #1 defense in the country at the Division II level. Tuskegee gives up just 11 points a contest. And that's in the territory of the Notre Dames and the Alabamas at the FBS level.
Well, Tuskegee in the SIAC, they beat up on people. And that's always been the question mark. Well, how does that translate into bigger Division I or FCS programs?
Jenkins back in their quarterback. Landon Jones is coming off his best performance as a Hornet, getting 7 yards, and William Buford makes the tackle. This Alabama State offense, the top scoring offense in the SWAC, and they've scored 30 points at least in 6 straight. Here's another bubble for Gamble. They got a block from Jones to get a first down. Ball came out, but he was already down. Finney with the tackle.
And when Alabama State on offense is really clicking, they're a high-pace offense. They want to get as many snaps as possible. And now with the back-to-back completions and picking up the first downs, they're going to try and wear out this Tuskegee defense because they are deep. And that's one of the problems you have with being Division II. You don't have the depth. So Alabama State needs to get a lot of high reps.
Jenkins in rhythm. And Gamble's got his 3rd catch already. Marcus Gamble, sophomore out of Atlanta, playing some of his best football lately.
And Gamble's just finding the soft spot in his own coverage. Great recognition by Jenkins. Stands tall in the pocket, but this is the 2nd time we've seen Gamble slip off this new playing surface they've got here.
Jenkins stands tall, back to Gamble, who couldn't hold on, and then Buford had a shot at the pick, and it's 2nd and 10.
Jenkins standing tall in the pocket. Gamble's going to clear that 2nd window. That's one they let him a little bit too much in front, but as Gamble's got to know, he's got to separate a little bit more from that linebacker to give a wider throwing lane.
Jenkins finds a hole. This time it's Demario Bell. The true freshman out of nearby Wetumpka, Alabama, has been huge lately, averaging 35 yards a catch this year, getting 19 there.
And big play potential. You see Jenkins there with the option. Did a good job of selling the swing pattern and throwing the ball upfield.
Jenkins pulls it out of the gut of Corral and gets a couple of yards on first down. Let's take a look at how Alabama State has done in the red zone, brought to you by Verizon. That's the best in the SWAC. And 10th in the country.
29 touchdowns, only 4 field goals. You like that from your offense. It means you don't settle for many field goal opportunities. Pretty good at punching it in.
Corral is hit in the backfield. Somehow able to sneak back to close to the line of scrimmage. Quavon Taylor made the stop, but Kedrick Blue had a chance to stop him for a loss.
Yeah, and great balance here. How does he manage to get back to the line of scrimmage? He's 15 yards away right now in the backfield, going the wrong direction, but able to find a crease, make a guy miss. and managed to save that play, and more importantly, that keeps them in field goal range. He gets tackled 15 yards back, we're out of field goal range.
3rd down and 11. Tuskegee brings 6, but it's picked up, and Jenkins has time for a 1st down throw. It's Mario Bell once again setting up 1st and goal.
And this is why you like to have a strong arm as a quarterback. He's going to run a simple in route here, but at the top of the route, he's going to see this free safety coming over. Watch Jenkins throw a strike. Zip right away. He can catch the ball, anticipate the hit, and hold on. Great throw by Greg Jenkins and Mario Bell holding on to the football.
Corral on the stretch play, finding a seam, rumbling inside the 5, and it's down to the 3 where it's 2nd and goal. Kevin Finney with a stop. Who's going to have that first touchdown in this new ASU stadium?
Well, the Hornets right now, they're knocking on the doorstep, and if you see Corral just lower his shoulder and run through the Tuskegee defensive back, when you got a guy that's running that hard, feed that horse, get him the ball again. He wants to get in that end zone.
To the short side, Corral is in for the touchdown. So it's the Georgia transfer with a first touchdown to this beautiful new stadium, and Alabama State leads.
He was not going to be denied. You can tell that locomotive was gaining momentum on those tracks. It didn't matter if there were 10 people on the goal line. Crowell was not going to be denied. Touchdown for the Hornets.
Extra point is pushed wide by Bobby Wenzig, and it remains a 3-point game. Isaiah Crowell, who got off to a bit of a slow start after transferring in from Georgia, has gotten into much better shape, and he rumbles his way into the end zone to give Alabama State its first ever lead in the new digs.
So, where are you living?
ESPNU College Football Primetime is presented by McDonald's. I'm loving it. And in part by the Buick Verano. Unexpected luxury in a car this size. Alabama State Band marching earlier this morning. What a full day of festivities it is. There's a big parade going on this morning through downtown Montgomery. Now inside this new ASU stadium.
See, I like the fact that they have to march in the parade. You know, make them earn it. You know, they think they're the big show. Well, go ahead and get a little workout in.
Right.
How about a little march? Keep you in step.
Isaiah Corral with his 14th rushing touchdown of the season, giving Alabama State its first lead. The media guides from here until the end of time will have his name next to it, scoring the first touchdown in the new building. Bobby Wenzig, who just missed that extra point. Kick it off to Desmond Reese. It's Reese from the 3. Coverage team is the best in the SWAC for Alabama State, and they shut it down to the 13. There's a flag down. DeAntrell Simon made the tackle. We'll let you know what that flag is when we come back. We'll also look at some of the new facilities Jay tour us through on the other side of this break.
New Pink Lemonade 5-Hour Energy? 5-Hour Energies.
The hoopla around this year's Turkey Day Classic is the unveiling of the brand new football stadium here on the campus of Alabama State University. At a $62 million price tag, this place is special. And yesterday, we had an opportunity to take a tour behind the scenes of the new Hornets Nest. Come with me, let's take a look.
The stadium holds over 26,000 fans, and they also have a club level for when the elements come into play. Some of those faithful Hornet fans can come inside. I'm talking to you now from inside this club level, where they've got numerous TV monitors, and the Hornet fans can watch their favorite football team in HD television.
You talk about paying attention to detail. Even the seats here in this stadium have a little bit extra room, wouldn't you agree? He's not a little guy, he's a normal sized guy. You know, I'm a big guy, and we can spread out and enjoy with a fantastic view watching Alabama State football. Here, in one of the 20 luxury suites, you can enjoy the ambiance of the stadium and the aroma of the good food, or you can come inside and relax and enjoy yourself in air conditioning and plush furnishings throughout.
Which is how you prefer it. You prefer to be inside.
Inside, yeah. Get rid of the heat and the cold. How about just normal?
But on a day like this,
perfect. Open the window.
Outside, yeah. Tuskegee takes over with his second possession from the 8. And an option play. Nard keeps it, bounces to the outside. Justin Nard with a 20-yard gain on first down. Leland Baker sprints over to get him, but they took away the fullback. Thornton left Nard untouched.
And this is great option play by quarterback Jared Nard. Watch what he does. Watch him pull the ball out the belly. He's got 2 hands on it, secure the ball with a nice tug out, becomes a lead blocker. Derek Washington, good job. Bounces to the outside. So often we see quarterbacks get sloppy with that football. They halfway put the ball on the stomach. There, he rolled his fullback and had the ability to yank it out for the real play action.
Sophomore out of Evergreen, Alabama, took over the starting role towards the end of last season against a crowded box. Belly play to the fullback, Thornton, and Michael Thornton showing off speed. Riley's chasing and will run him down to the 10. Thornton, who's got just 340 yards on the entire season, breaks one off for 64.
Follow the fullback is normally what you say, but in this case, if you follow the running back, you were confused. The hole's going to be on this side, but watch how many white jerseys go with Derek Washington. Focusing on him, they bounce it up the middle. It became a foot race for Thornton to be a fullback. He almost outran Keywan Riley. He's got some good speed.
What a response by Tuskegee after Alabama State takes its first lead. First down and goal. Option play. This time Alabama State is ready. Drake Everett, one of 17 seniors, playing his final game in Montgomery today. Loss of a yard, second and goal.
Throughout the town, I talked to numerous Tuskegee fans, and they were saying, yes, the new stadium's nice, but our football team's going to show up. And I think they've answered the call. Alabama State scored the touchdown, and Tuskegee drives right back down the field.
Red zone numbers not that good for Tuskegee, which is a little bit surprising with as good of a ground game as they've got. Second down and goal. Nard looking to the end zone, throwing to the corner. Flag is down. That ball's hauled in at the 2 by Markel Gardner. We'll see if the flag goes on. Right now they've got it spotted at the 1. George McCullum, head referee of the SWAC crew today. So it looks like it's going to be holding on the defense by McCollum's signal there. Derek Washington, one of the captains of this offense, will talk it over and decide how they want to handle it. What are you going to do? You're going to take it 3rd and goal there, or are you going to take the penalty?
Take the penalty. You want the first down. We'll make it first down. You give yourself more downs to get into the end zone. I would definitely take this penalty.
On the defense, penalty will be declined. 3rd down and goal.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't understand why you do that. Now, if they punch it in, okay, it's all for naught, but I understand you want the ball on the 1-yard line, but if you've got an opportunity to get yourself a fresh set of downs inside the 10-yard line, I think most offensive coordinators would accept that.
There's confidence in this ground game. It's taking this team down the field. 3rd and goal. 5 to snap it. Nard seems to know. It's the fullback Thornton with a whistle and a flag flying. But it's going to be a false start.
False start. Offense. 89. 5 yards. Replay. 3rd down.
James Bennett the 3rd, the tight end.
And right away, that decision not to accept the defensive holding, where you would have had a fresh set of downs, it would have been 1st and goal. Now you're looking at 3rd and goal, and you got to move it back 5 yards.
And it looks like he just took a timeout as well. Yikes. Well, ESPNU has a triple header of college football on Saturday. I believe we're at the end of November now. Oh, they had a chance to have it 1st and goal, but declined a penalty, made it 3rd and goal from the 1, and after the false start, it's 3rd and goal from the 6.
Follow the fullback, number 38, Michael Thornton.
Leading the way for Washington, who cuts back and vaults his way in for a touchdown. Penalty didn't matter. 6 yards for Washington and his 14th touchdown of the year.
We talked about earlier, down and distance does not dictate what this offense does. They run the football. Most teams throughout the country, 3rd and goal from the 6 would have committed to passing the football, but they're going to run the football. That's what they do, and they think they do it better than anybody. Great lead block by Michael Thornton, and Derek Washington's just a touchdown scoring machine. He's going to pound it in for the score to give him the lead.
Maria makes it a 4-point lead. So Tuskegee responds with a Missouri transfer. Washington getting the score. Drive, this touchdown set up by Michael Thornton's long run out of the fullback spot on that belly play.
Yeah, I really like the fullback showing the breakaway speed here in the open field. Becomes a foot race at 6'2", 230 pounds. He can really motor. And then once they get down to the 1-yard line, here on this completion that got them to the 1-yard line, they had the penalty, but then Michael Thornton again, the fullback leading the way, number 38, and Derek Washington scores. Great job by Tuskegee to answer the Alabama State touchdown.
We highlighted the 2 FBS transfers at the top of the broadcast, and it's those 2 guys with the 2 touchdowns in this game. Washington from 6 yards, and Isaiah Corral on the other side in from 3 yards for Alabama State's touchdown.
And I think that Crowell's going to try and answer. I mean, it's getting personal right now. Crowell doesn't want to be showed up by the Missouri transfer, and the Missouri transfer didn't like being showed up by the Georgia transfer.
Here's Jared Neely. A solid return the last time he touched it. Decent field position for Alabama State here. Closing seconds of the first quarter.
And what Alabama State has to do, they've shown the ability to push around this Tuskegee defense, but what they must do is not get careless with the football. This is a very opportunistic defense that Tuskegee brings here into Montgomery. This is a defense that's got 21 interceptions on the year. That's a lot of interceptions and a number of turnovers that they create.
Ball at the 27.
33 total, 10th in Division II. Big part of the reason they're the #1 defense overall at the Division II level. They fake the dive and swing it to T.C. McWilliams, one of the top receivers in Alabama State history. Short gain on first down. Kevin Finnessy with a tackle.
McWilliams has had a good career here at Alabama State. He was acknowledged during senior day. Started off his career as a quarterback, made a smooth transition over to wide receiver, and turned out to be one of the great ones.
That'll bring this first quarter to a close in the 89th Turkey Day Classic. Alabama State and Tuskegee, the longest running HBCU Classic. And an exciting first quarter. They unveil ASU Stadium in Montgomery. 3 quarters to go, and a good one from downtown Montgomery.
Bye, girls. Love you.
Daddy, we made you a video for your trip. Yeah, watch it on the airplane.
Okay.
Here you go.
Aw, thanks, girls.
Yeah. Hey, I also made you a video.
Aw, that's so sweet.
You probably shouldn't watch it on the plane. Say bye to Daddy.
Bye, girls.
Share videos instantly. The new.
Not just Thanksgiving, not just Turkey Day Classic, but a homecoming at Alabama State as well.
Good morning, everybody.
Parade going on this morning through downtown Montgomery, and the streets just loaded with people for quite an event.
It's festive. I mean, you see Eric Renee there, and he actually sang the national anthem, and all the pageantry that you want, the homecoming court, you got the bands, and a brand new stadium here at Alabama State, giving everybody a reason to party and get down.
It's a high school kid here from nearby Jeff Davis High School. lots of good moves, moving like Jay Walker. 1966 Turkey Day Classic, back at the old Crampton Bowl. Muhammad Ali made an appearance at it. Of course, Montgomery, the heart of the civil rights movement. And Ali coming over for what at that time would have been the 42nd version of the Turkey Day Classic, but some awesome photos. Alabama State with the ball to begin the second quarter, getting out, gain 171-79 by the Division II opponent. And Corrales popped at the line of scrimmage and dropped by Al-Malik Chin. He's from just up the road near Tuscaloosa, Northport, Alabama. The sophomore makes it 3rd and 8.
In Alabama State, for them, skill positions, they probably have the best in the SWAC. When you put Crowell in there with Jenkins in the wide receiver core, but the question mark for them all season long has been the offensive line in there. So Al-Malik Chin plays linebacker, 215 pounds, just shoot the gap and exploit them.
Jenkins out of the gun, steps underneath, and McWilliams who dropped the football. The receiver play coming into the season, Alabama State thought would be its main strength. They've been up and down, really were not good early. Better lately, but a drop there makes it 4th down.
Yeah, you got to hold on to the football there. You know, slowly but surely, you're behind in this football game, and you know what Tuskegee wants to do, run the football. Alabama State must make the most of each of their offensive possessions.
A flag down before the snap.
False start, offense, number 30, 5 yards, replay, 4th down.
How much do you credit this relatively slow start to being distracted?
I don't think so. I mean, once the whistle blows and you're down there, you've got to just focus and play football.
That's what you're preaching, but are they getting that message?
Adrenaline normally hypes you up, makes you play a little bit better.
Reese has some room. Desmond Reese tackled at the 36. After a 47-yard punt, it's an 8-yard return. Yeah, Marquise Lovett with a stop. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we'll look ahead to this big weekend of college football. Top 15 matchup, Palmetto Pride on the line in South Carolina.
Well, if it isn't Mr. Margin.
Mr. Margin?
Oh, don't be modest, Bob. You found a better way to pack a bowling ball.
That was UPS.
Who called UPS? You did, Bob.
I just asked the question.
It takes a long time to pack a bowling ball. The last guy fished more ball packers. But you consulted UPS. You found a better way.
That's logistics.
That's Margin. Find out what else UPS knows.
Don't do that.
You're on a roll.
That's funny.
I wasn't being funny, Bob.
I know.
Wahl introduces the lithium-ion shaver with twice the uses and the trifecta of a full-size shaver, trimmer, and detailer. It's the power to look your best. The Wahl lithium-ion shaver.
We wish you a manly Christmas. We have free swinging flannel with gussets for your armpits so you'll move like a man. This shirt is great. Lift up things with ease, but beware of...
Up in the Palmetto State.
Got a good matchup going here in the 89 Turkey Day Classic as Tuskegee takes over with a 4-point lead. First drive they've had that's began outside of the 15-yard line. And off of the zone replay, Nard kept it and got dropped by Justin Mitchell. Sophomore out of Phoenix City, Alabama. Closer to Tuskegee than it is Montgomery. Also a yard, 2nd and 11.
And that's what you've got to do when you're taking on Tuskegee. Play assignment football. When they give you that option look, if you can have your interior linemen making tackles on the quarterback, that's great. But you've got to have your secondary defenders there as well to make sure that he decides to keep the football, and it all starts with knowing where Derek Washington is on the football field.
It's Alabama State defense, 7 senior starters, came into the year with high expectations, got off to a slow start, but they've been good lately. Right now, top 20 in the country. Here comes a trick play. Desmond Reese getting a huge block and throwing it into coverage. Incomplete. Boy, not many that Kewan Riley drops. 21 interceptions in his career. The active FCS leader narrowly misses number 22.
They were playing with fire if you're testing Kewan Riley. And you're going to see him here. This is a reverse, gets a block, but then it's a pass. Ball floats. Riley goes to get it, but great job by Larry Cobb, recognizing that Riley was not full, making it tough for him to bring it down and not secure the interception. That's a big play by number 19. Won't show up in the stat book, but great job of breaking up that, for sure, interception by Kewan Riley.
Tuskegee's 3 of 4 on third down so far. This is 3rd and 11. Alabama State drops 7 into coverage, brings just 4, and still gets to him. It's Jimmy Daniels, who is wearing number 96 because his number 52 uniform was ripped. That's his 8th sack of the year to lead the team.
Yeah, Jimmy Daniels just going to bring the pressure from the edge, and that's what he does. Does a fantastic job of beating his man off the ball. It's what you want. It's going to spin him around. He actually thinks he's going to get away, but strong enough to turn him around, and that streak is alive. Jimmy Daniels, every game in his career except for one, he's had a tackle for loss.
Malcolm Cyrus with a fair catch at the 35. The Alabama State forces its first punt of the day. The 37-yard punt. Alabama State back to work, down 4. We come back. ESPNU College Football Primetime is brought to you by Jeep Grand Cherokee and by Bass Pro Shops. Your adventure starts here. Alabama State with the football down 4, 10-6 against Tuskegee. Division II opponent traveled into the capital city today. The 89 Turkey Day Classic. Well, a showdown on Saturday. ESPN features 3 heated in-state rivalries in the 110th meeting between those two schools. Jenkins with a deep drop, coverage downfield, so he checks it down to Malcolm Cyrus, getting 6 yards, and it's 2nd and 4. Davion Clowney, of course, will play in that game for South Carolina. And the Bednarik Award finalists. Whew, some good players there, huh?
That's a good one, but I think this has been the year of tell. And I just think that, I think he's going to win the Heisman Trophy.
Can't disagree.
Jenkins started out strong with Georgia.
Marcus Gamble gets a first down with a block from T.C. McWilliams.
Number 85, Gamble. First down.
And of course, December 6th, the Home Depot College Football Awards. An all-day thing. You got ESPNU down there with the Palmer and Pollock show, red carpet show, and then you can watch the actual award show on ESPN. Greg Jenkins with a 9-yard run and a quarterback draw. We're playing more about the Home Depot Award show at halftime today.
When you talk to offensive coordinator Fred Kice from Alabama State, he said today will be the Greg Jenkins show. We'll put him at quarterback, wide receiver, running back, may even return a kick for them as well. Senior day, they're giving him an opportunity to showcase all of his talents.
Well, the block was missed by the freshman Bell, and Adam Lucas, who's our impact player on defense for Tuskegee, drops him for a loss of 2, and it's 3rd and 3.
Good job by Lucas of showing he's not just a defensive back that can intercept passes, but he can also come up and make the tackle behind the line of scrimmage.
Jenkins looking to the short side. Too hot for Demario Bell. Boy, had him about 5 yards away and threw a fastball that he couldn't pull in. It's 4th down.
Yeah, and so often you see quarterbacks do that. No need to get that ball to him that fast. Great route, good separation. Give him a nice catchable throw. But when you put that many RPMs on your fastball, and as you mentioned, he's only 5 yards away from you, 98% of the receivers in America are going to miss that pass.
That looked fast in slow motion. High spiraling kick from Bobby Wenzig. Reese fakes like he'll catch it, but he didn't fool the special teams unit. Down at the 3-yard line by Nicholas Martin, freshman out of Dothan, Alabama, and familiar starting territory for this Tuskegee offense. 3 out of their 4 drives have began inside their own 15.
They've got him backed up, but be careful for Alabama State. Got to pay attention to the fullback, Michael Thornton. One way or the other, they get him involved in the running game plan. He broke off a big one for him this time, so I'm sure they'll use him as a decoy and try and get Derek Washington some carries.
Now here's how we got to where we are now. Tuskegee using this huge play to Markel Garner with a tremendous catch, set up a field goal from Murillo from 38 yards, putting them on the board. Corral with the first touchdown in this new stadium. How about this one busted off by Thornton, who Jay mentioned. This is 3rd and goal here, and Washington cutting back for 6. And Tuskegee's in front. Washington with a head of steam on first down. Gets some breathing into the 7. Brandon Roberts, Alabama State's leading tackler, is there. And it's 2nd down and 6.
And this is when you like having a guy like Derek Washington. So often in today's college football world, these spread offenses, they get backed up, and they can't have a power running game when called upon. Tuskegee, that's their trademark, the power running game. I mean, how often do we see fullbacks in college football today?
Running the ball.
Running the ball, let alone even in the game, but this is a throwback offense.
Alabama State loads the box against it. White shirts surrounding Derek Washington. 3rd and 4.
And this is one here we're always saying an I formation, follow the fullback. He's going to tell you where the ball's going. I think in this case here, he doesn't follow him. There's a hole there. Follow Washington. He decides to cut back into a headache. And had he followed Thornton, Thornton was going to go up to that second level, block the linebacker. That could have been a big one.
Tuskegee's won 9 straight games after losing on opening weekend to another SWAC team in Alabama A&M, and trying to get their 10th in a row in this 89th Turkey Day Classic. 3rd down and 3, and Nard looking to throw with time. It's tipped and it's incomplete as Gardner almost made another incredible catch. Saeed Lee got his fingertips on it, and it's 4th down.
Yeah, great play by Saeed Lee, or else this was an easy completion. He's going to drop into coverage. Wide receiver's wide open, but watch Lee elevate and get a fingertip on it just to throw that ball off just a little by a hair. Good extension.
And Alabama State's going to get good field position as Gene Stewart Moody is on to punt it. It's a good one. Backing Cyrus into his own territory. Cyrus stays on his feet. And with a flag down, we'll get it to the 45. With a flag back at his own 45. Kevin Finney with the tackle on special teams.
I hope they pick up this flag. If they call block in the back, this is a complete disservice.
With the person of the owner of a red burgundy automobile, license plate 5748,
10 yards for spotted foul. 1st down.
Owner of a red burgundy.
They called a hold, but it wasn't there. I mean, that was just one that was a tough one. I mean, right here, this hold for here.
Right above section 108, please move your automobile.
Did you see a hole there?
I mean, I can see what they saw, but Reese Tate, backup linebacker. And you look at the net damage of that penalty, that's 20 yards that you lose. From the 35, Crowell with a big hole off the right side, and Isaiah Crowell with a 1st down to the 48. Wayvon Taylor with a tackle after 13 yards.
Feed him. Running back starts showing you signs like that he wants some carries. Continue to get him the football. Even if the numbers say you shouldn't run it, I would still run it with the way Crowell was running that last play.
Here he is again to the short side. 3 yards. Reginald Woods forced him out. It'll be 2nd and 7.
And I think that's the frustrating part there. We saw him run with power on the previous play. Then they give it to him again, and he decides to step out of bounds. A good power running back is not going to step out of bounds. Right when you get to the sideline, take a cut and pick up 1 or 2 extra yards instead of going to the sideline untouched.
He's got good speed. He's got good vision inside. It took a while for the staff and for him to get adjusted to each other, understanding what both sides wanted. Jenkins fakes to him. Has all day to throw. Now he'll take off and try to show off the athleticism. Stiff arming his way for close to a 1st down. Wayvon Taylor streaked over to make it close. Greg Jenkins has enough for a 1st down.
I mean, just all Greg Jenkins here escaping. Pocket collapses. He gets out of there. Then watch how many Tuskegee defenders have to bring him down. 1, 2, 3. And he still manages to see the 1st down marker and pick it up.
If you're an NFL scout, do you like what he can bring you?
I do. I mean, anytime you can have a quarterback that moves to another position, it's a plus because they know the game so well. I mean, look at a guy like Hines Ward that played quarterback at Georgia. He was able to make that transition, and he was a tough player. You know, Anquan Bolden, quarterback at Florida State. Now when he's running pass routes in the secondary, he's going to get you those yards after catch. And Jenkins is showing he could be cut from that cloth. They say he's got great hands, and we know he's got great moves.
We saw Michigan last weekend showcasing Denard Robinson in a similar way. Comes back to his second read, and great defense from Adam Lucas, but maybe too good a defense. PI's coming with the defense on Cornelius Fenderson. And that will move the chains for Alabama State.
Number 11, right? Number 11. Number 11. DPI. Pass interference. Defense. Number 11. 15 yards from the previous spot. Automatic. First down.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they meant 8.
See the throw. He's there and comes over his back.
PI either way, regardless of
the 25-yard line. First down, ASU.
West Georgia transfer Adam Lucas. He's played well so far, but got there too soon, and Alabama State has a first down at the 25. Corral's 8th touch of the day. Boy, hit that hole hard and ran through the arm tackle to Marquise Mason for 7 on first down.
And those are the flashes that you want to see there. Doesn't take him long to get through the hole. I mean, once he steps on that gas pedal, he sees it, recognizes it, spins, great balance. Low to bring down.
He comes out. Rodney Cross comes in. And Greg Jenkins on a design quarterback run with a nice cut to make it first down and goal. Jamar Hornsby made the tackle, but Jenkins getting it done in all phases.
He's got some moves. I mean, he's like a running back playing quarterback that can throw. Greg Jenkins, almost impossible to bring down one-on-one in the open field.
So Alabama State offense at its best when it's in a hurry. In a hurry, they've got it first and goal. Gilsey in the fullback motions to the left side and a flag down. Like he was going to lead the way for Corral. Edmund Davis, the center.
Offense, 65, 5 yards, replay, first down.
When you start to see those type of penalties with the false starts and jumping offside, then I think the emotion and the magnitude of the game is starting to show up there. Get so hyped up, you're down in the red zone, you're excited. Mentally, you want to hit somebody a little bit harder, jump off sides.
So still first and goal, but it's from the 14. Low snap is Corral. Corral gets the handoff and a great job to fall forward. I think he's still going. The whistle came with his momentum still going forward. He gets 4, and it'll be second and goal from the 10.
Yeah, and I don't know if they were set and ready for that play for the ball to be snapped. Look, everybody's looking around. Fullback's just going in motion, and once again, 65.
Player on the field.
Edmund Davis, the center, snaps the ball a little bit early, and this is just reaction there. Crowell keep the legs going, and Damian Love, the freshman, big number 60, giving him a little pull, pick up more yardage.
And Taryn Jones, their first team All-SWAC performer and an All-American last year, was injured. He's missed some time this season with an injury. But the main cog of that offensive line that they can't afford to be without against a very good defense in Tuskegee.
They've been banged up all season long on the offensive line. The one steady performer they had has been Taryn Jones.
Already a young offensive line, couple of sophomores and a freshman, and they're going to get younger with a senior injured right now.
Virginia Tech at noon, then Vanderbilt, Wake Forest, Saturday on.
Alabama State driving down 4 late in the first half here in Montgomery. Taryn Jones, who was injured in the last play, walked off under his own power. They bring on a sophomore now, very young up front for Alabama State.
He's just a sophomore, but he's got plenty of size. Number 66, Corbett McAfee. So they're losing the experience of Jones, but McAfee now being thrown in there. See if he can make some plays.
3 sophomores and a true freshman up front. The only upperclassman is the center that's had back-to-back penalties. Second down and goal. Corral takes the fake. Jenkins takes the ball and gets it inside the 5. Quavon Taylor, freshman, but a first-team all-conference player with the tackle, and it's 3rd and goal from the 4. Alabama State has scored on 15 straight trips to the red zone, including today when Corral got in from 3 yards. And because of their missed extra point, they need a touchdown to avoid trailing going into the break. Gamble motions out of the trips. They check the defense. With time, Jenkins is chased and drilled by Reginald Woods. The junior out of Compton, California, was hot on his trail the entire time, and the field goal team comes out.
Yeah, just nowhere to go with the football. Jenkins is trying to buy time. Then he has to leave, and great job by Woods of continuing his pursuit, not allowing Jenkins to get away.
This would be a 23-yarder for Bobby Wenzel. Missed an extra point earlier. Arizona State transfer, 6 of 12 this season, and from a tough angle, hooks it through. Hornets within 1. Inside of 5 minutes left in this first half. Junior out of San Diego. Taps on 3.
Take a look at that pass pursuit right there, and that's that matchup. They lost Taryn Jones. They have to bring in Whitfield. Sorry, they had to bring in McAfee off the bench. He comes in, and you see Reginald Woods does a great job of taking advantage of the sophomore's inexperience.
It was Reginald Woods that got to him. So now time for Where I'm From, brought to you by the U.S. Marines. And Reginald Woods straight out of Compton, California.
Is he really? The CPT. Good football player there, though. Great engine there, and you saw it on that pursuit, but he's a long way from home. But here's a little hidden nugget you didn't know. Tuskegee has a very large California population at the private school down in Alabama, and he's just part of that pipeline. I think they have 2 players from California on the roster.
Mark Hughes, senior out of Mapleton, Georgia, back to receive Wenzig's kick. It's a good one, and this drive will start at the 25-yard line. Well, showdown Saturday on ABC coming up, featuring a try.
Not happening this year.
We'll see. Out of the eye on first down. Short toss for Washington. He extends the play and turns the corner around Brandon Slater. Looked like he was going to be dropped for a loss, but he got 2.5 yards.
And we've seen some great running back play from Crowell as well as Washington when there seems to be nothing there at all. Able to get back to the line of scrimmage, and in the case of Washington, pick up a couple when it just wasn't there. Good runners just have that knack for picking up yardage when something's not there at all.
Well, Tuskegee has been backed into its own end for just about every drive today. But still have been able to generate some offense. They've reached 100 yards as a team running the football. About 70 of that came on one play from the fullback. Norrid steps out of a collapsing pocket, gets tripped up by Draquay Everett, who's having a good day on his senior day. And it'll be 3rd down and 2 for Tuskegee.
Tripped up by Everett.
3rd and short. You've got to like Tuskegee's chances of converting on this opportunity. Power run up the middle. Normally they've had success running behind fullback Michael Thornton.
Washington running his way for a first down, and then some to the 49. Brandon Roberts came and got him, but a pickup of 16 didn't move the chains.
This time they're just going to run the old pitch sweep right here, and Washington, using his vision, runs to daylight. And it also takes 3 Hornet defenders to bring him down. Seems like Alabama State's going to have a Derek Washington problem if they don't figure out a way to slow down his momentum at or behind the line of scrimmage.
This defense, talking to the media this week, said it's personal, especially the seniors. Their final game in Alabama State uniforms, facing this highly touted Harlan Hill Trophies finalists, Division II Heisman, on their own field. Washington on first down, got a couple over the left side. Brandon Roberts with another tackle.
When we talk about controlling the line of scrimmage, what you saw in that last play is Tuskegee controlling the line of scrimmage. Anytime a running back can change directions and not get hit behind the line of scrimmage, they've got control. No penetration from the white jerseys. He's able to change directions at the line of scrimmage and therefore able to pick up more yards. You got to get that surge. If you're going against a good runner, Where's that surge? Control the line of scrimmage. If they've got you at a standstill, advantage offense.
Yeah, they've got 37 pounds per man up front as far as an advantage for Tuskegee. The clock winding down to 2.5. 2nd and 6. Snap came up into the chest of Nara, but good hands to pull it down and feed it to Josh Crow. Brandon Roberts racking up the tackles. 3rd and 1.
Crow with that fullback, so that's what they're doing just to keep him honest. You run the ball with the fullback to keep him honest, and they just can't focus on Washington for every single carry. And one thing we haven't seen, Alabama State, they do not bring 8 men on the box, which is surprising when you've got 2 backs in the backfield plus a tight end.
They said they thought their safeties and their base defense played close enough to the line of scrimmage to be able to help. Here's Washington with enough for a 1st down. Close to the 40. With a minute 45 here, you got to get moving some if you're Tuskegee.
It's not in their DNA. They don't do that. They'll run the clock and continue to pick it up slowly but surely and hope that they're just going to spring one. You know, for them, getting fancy is going to be a little bit of an option maybe. But they like to pound the football and wear you down.
2 timeouts left. Still huddling for minute 40. Just so rare these days in college football.
And right here, I mean, I formation. And what's Alabama State going to do? Are they going to crowd the line of scrimmage? Finally, they're bringing Riley down. They're giving a look like Riley's coming, but then he backs up for a 7-man front.
Nard is pressured, able to get outside, and then tracked down. No gain. Leland Baker, their 2nd leading tackler, showed good speed.
And this is when you call a timeout.
2 of them left.
Yeah, I don't agree with letting the clock continue to run, but they brought a linebacker blitz. Brandon Roberts came from his linebacker spot, shot the gap. Great job by Nard to get outside. Unfortunately, when you're there, you're better off throwing the ball away. That would have stopped the clock. Instead, he's tackled. They've lost about 25 seconds.
Clock down to 40. Nard against a 4-man rush. Taking a shot, has a man. It's Gardner. Touchdown, Tuskegee. 40 yards working against Saeed Lee for his 2nd touchdown of the year.
And give Gardner credit. This is just separation. And the one thing that Nard's going to do, he's going to put some air up under it and let him run and make a play. But look at the separation by Gardner. He's got a lead beat by 3 or 4 yards. That's plenty. And you're trying to go vertically down the field.
So what do we know? We're saying hurry up. They just didn't want to leave Alabama State anytime.
Must have lulled them to sleep, but you're Saeed Lee. How do you allow Gardner to get behind you?
That one's blocked. 3rd time this season. Murillo's had a kick blocked. And they will whistle it dead. So each team has missed an extra point. Back to a 7-point game. How about Markel Gardner? Sophomore out of Pritchard, Alabama. From the sophomore from Evergreen, Alabama. They connect on a 40-yarder, but then Murillo's extra point is blocked. And in this Turkey Day Classic, a 7-point game. 89th installment of the longest-running HBCU Classic, the Turkey Day Classic. Dates all the way back to 1924. And it's his run-oriented offense getting the job done with a 40-yard pass to take a 1-touchdown lead.
Yeah, going deep, using the air ball, and I think just got to give credit to Markel Gardner. He's been able to get behind the secondary of Alabama State a couple times, so they've got a matchup problem there. And you talk about the deep threat of Gardner to go along with the hard running of Derek Washington, and Alabama State finds himself trailing here in their debut of the new Hornets Nest Stadium.
3 catches for 92 yards. The guy that started his career at Tuskegee didn't like it, transferred to South Alabama, launching its football program, but after a quarter, transferred back to Tuskegee. And Willie Slater said he's been a godsend for this program this year, in desperate need of a go-to guy on the edge. Short kick, taken by one of the up men. It's Justin Robinson who lost the football, and Tuskegee's got it at the 47. Robinson, the tight end, returned that one, and then William Buford fell on top of it. Things getting a little bit chippy in this rivalry game. The bench is starting to leak onto the field. You'd hate to have such a great day tarnished by something like this.
Yeah, that's what you can't do. Right now, I know it's a special teams play, and you've got the defense for Alabama State trying to run on the field, acting like they're getting ready to go take the field, but you got to sit down, let the dust settle and clear, and play football. It's such a wonderful game environment. But these things have been chippy between these programs, particularly all week long. But you hate to see this. It's a great reaction by Robinson running the football, but get down. Once you get there, get as many yards as you can, go down to the ground. And we talked about the fact that Tuskegee's opportunistic. They create turnovers.
The coach is making sure there are no penalties there. There were even some extracurriculars before the game with assistant coaches getting into it as far as placement of their special teams warm-ups. Tuskegee trying to capitalize with 2 timeouts, less than a half minute. Nara taking another shot. This one into double coverage, and it's incomplete. Boy, Larry Cobb went up and got it, but was drilled out of bounds by Kewan Riley. 2nd and 10.
It's going up, and Larry Cobb is another big wide receiver. He's 6'3", 190 pounds, and Riley comes over there and delivers a smack on him.
Edward Murillo's long is 43, so they need to get to the 26. 23 yards still before they're within that range. And coming up at halftime on the State Farm Halftime Report, it's rivalry week with Notre Dame and USC. And of course, our first half stats and highlights from this one. There's a flag down.
False start. Offense. 74. 5 yards. Replay. 2nd down.
You consider just cutting your losses, getting the half.
They may take a chance. I mean, one thing they do have in their advantage, you got Cobb, who's 6'3", and you got Gardner, who's 6'3", for Tuskegee. Give them a jump ball. They've shown that they can make some plays if they get one-on-one matchups.
They look to throw again. Nard is pressured and sacked for the 3rd time in his half. Time it was Ray Henningberg, Jr. out of Mobile, to bring this first half to a close.
And Nard's trying to step up with a great little ankle tackle by Jimmy Daniels, creating it. And Henningberg there to get credit for the sack.
All an exciting first half in this first game ever at the new ASU Stadium. And surely an exciting second half to follow. But for now, we head to the studio for the State Farm Halftime Report after these messages. You're watching ESPNU College Football presented by McDonald's. Coming at a halftime here in Montgomery, Tuskegee, a Division II program taking on FCS Alabama State in the 89th Turkey Day Classic. And up by a touchdown as we go on to the 3rd. We welcome you back into the broadcast booth. Again, happy Thanksgiving. Glad you're joining us for it. Jay Walker, Joe Davis. This is Alabama State's big day opening this new stadium, but at halftime, they trail.
Yeah, they trail. They came out here probably a little flat. The big plays really hurt them, though. The emotion is there, but it's going to be a hard-fought second half because they want to protect their house.
You mentioned the big plays for Tuskegee. Not a team that usually gets a ton of them, but that was much of the story during the first half. Let's see how they got to a better state. Brought to you by State Farm.
And if you're Alabama State, you just must defend against the big play. You're going to see the great catch here by Marquell Gardner. Then they're going to spring this big run for 41 yards by Mike Thorne, which was a big one as well. And then Gardner kept coming back, making big plays. So Tuskegee's going to keep doing this, and the Hornets are going to be in trouble. The key for Alabama State seems to be don't allow the big plays, force Tuskegee to drive the football if they want to get to a better state.
Stats during that first half, Tuskegee, one of the nation's top run offenses at the Division II level with a .28 there. Dominated the time of possession, and then 3rd down has been big. Alabama State not good. Back-to-back games now, they've not been good on 3rd down.
They have not. And, you know, Tuskegee's continued to dominate the time of possession. You expect to see that because this is the team that runs the football well. But the fact that they're able to throw the ball, they only average 140 yards passing per game. They've already got 112 because of those big plays. Alabama State's got to get that quick strike offense going in in a hurry, or else it's going to be a pretty bad home debut here in the stadium.
Yeah, all that aside, though, what a scene this is here, huh?
Phenomenal. I like how they're paying homage to those people that came before that laid the framework for them to have this new stadium. The halftime show, they brought the dancing girls from the 1990s, the 2000s, the 2011, and then the 2012. I've never seen 4 sets of generations of dancing girls. It's all been a fantastic evening thus far for Alabama State. Everything except for the scoreboard.
On campus for the first time in 40 years, and they used to play their home games at old Hornets Stadium, which is now the practice field, not too far from here on campus. Hornets down a touchdown. We get ready to start this second half of play. Well, Isaiah Crowell has got 1 touchdown so far today, the only Alabama State touchdown. Touched it just 9 times during the first half. You've got to find a way to get him more involved, don't you?
You want to feed Crowell, but you also can understand the frustration that Alabama State has in using him. He runs hard in spurts, but then there are also a couple plays where he took the easy route and got out of bounds. You can't determine to be a power runner sometimes. You've got to be a power runner all the time.
Here's a little bit of Corral during that first half. 9 carries for 36 yards and a touchdown. This is incredible here for a loss of 2.
Yeah, great balance there. Gets pushed 15 yards back, but able to only use 2 yards, and then he started feeling it. Got into the end zone and showed you the power. Hitting the hole quickly in a hurry. He's a load to bring down. It's just a matter of when he wants to run hard with that extra edge on his shoulder, compared to every now and then when he wants to be the finesse back.
Georgia transfer, reigning SEC freshman of the year, and then on the other sideline you've got a guy out of Missouri, and Derek Washington, who's in his first and only season at Tuskegee. Harlan Hill Trophy finalist, Division II's version of the Heisman.
And Washington runs like a power back all the time. He's got the speed, he's got the power. He's looking for contact and trying to pick up that extra yardage every chance he gets. They do a good job of allowing him to get the football and create, whether it's a large open space or in between the tackles. Derek Washington's showing you why he's probably the premier running back on the Division II level.
10 for 51 during that first half. Both guys with a touchdown. I'm not sure which one of those guys you dub as the MVP of the first half, but I think the MVP of this stadium has to be the PA.
They've got some acoustics in here, don't they? Nice sound. They've done it all here, but just can't talk about it. And when you drive by on the freeway, you see it there behind you in the rafters, it just draws you to it. You know, they've got the HD and all the gimmicks that you would like to have in a big-time stadium. And what about all the recruits we saw here in the stadium? Pretty sure a couple of those guys are going to be very interested in playing on this field.
Yeah, it didn't take long to get a bunch of recruits in here. That recruiting lounge full prior to the game. But Tuskegee beginning with a football, and here's Desmond Reese with a big return out near midfield. Tuskegee deferred to the second half, so they begin half number 2 with it, and get a return of 41 from Reese.
Yeah, this is right here is just wedged to the right. Get a seal block on the sideline. Good move on the kicker to make him miss. One thing about it, I mean, the rivalry, Tuskegee won't back down from Alabama State. And they've shown that year after year, and they got it going there in a hurry. The big plays really helped them keep it going, and they would love nothing more than to ruin the debut of Alabama State's new stadium. Right now, they're off to a good start.
They've dominated the all-time series Turkey Day Classics, longest running HBCU Classic. First play of the second half, Derek Washington. It doesn't look like much, but he surges forward for 8 behind that offensive line that's got a 37-pound edge per man up front.
And I like the fact that they play big. I mean, they're always moving forward, pushing the pile. So often you see linemen that are big and they just get in the way, but they actually go on the attack on the run plays, and they try to punish the opposing team's defensive line.
3 all-conference performers up front. Tolbert and Jones, both first-teamers. Already into Alabama State territory with a 1-touchdown lead. Off-play action. Nard setting up the screen for Washington, who's got a cutback lane for a first down inside the 35. Gain of 13 for the Missouri transfer. Brandon Roberts made the tackle.
He's tough to tackle when he's running the football. Then they give him a screen, and once he catches it, he turns on the jets in a hurry. They really do utilize his strengths very well down at Tuskegee.
Willie Slater, head coach, saying he's the best running back he's coached in 34 years in the profession. Making the most of his one season in Tuskegee. Up to 33, yet another touch for Washington, who's got a little bit of space to get 4. 2nd and 6. Tackle made by Winton Stewart. And Roberts there as well.
One of the adjustments that Alabama State has to do is they've been hesitant. You've got to get out your comfort zone. You've got to crowd that line of scrimmage. When you've got a line that's shown that they can pound you, they've got to bring extra defenders into that box. They don't want to because they want to play the zone coverage behind it. Leave your comfort zone, crowd that line of scrimmage, or else Tuskegee is going to continue to take advantage of it.
Just 6 in the box. Option play was shut down by the blitzing Brandon Roberts. A loss of 4, and it's 3rd and 10.
And that's been the only time they've been able to get some success is when they blitz their linebackers. Brandon Roberts, number 34, coming right in the middle of your screen. Nowhere to go with the football. You don't want to make a living relying on middle linebacker blitz. It leaves you open in the middle. So although they've been fortunate on a couple of occasions for Roberts to get there, still all starts with controlling the line of scrimmage.
Tuskegee was about 50% on 3rd down during that first half. 3rd down is a big part of the difference in the game. Alabama State was miserable on their 3rd down opportunities.
Timeout, Tuskegee.
Tuskegee uses its first timeout of the half and has 3rd and 10. We come back to Montgomery.
Bye, girls. Love you.
Daddy, we made you a video for your trip. Yeah, watch it on the airplane.
Okay.
Here you go.
Aw, thanks, girls.
Yeah. Hey, I also made you a video.
Aw, that's so sweet.
You probably shouldn't watch it on the plane.
Tonight's Bringing the Flavor brought to you by McDonald's. Beautifully put together by one of the members of our crew, Shane Wasserman, our EVS operator on this wonderful Thursday crew. Come out of the break with a 3rd down and 10 for Tuskegee. Nard is under pressure, steps into the pressure, and it's broken up. Marcus Bird stepped in front of Larry Cobb to make it 4th and 11. From here, it'd be a 51-yarder. What do you do?
They know they can't kick it, so I guess they're thinking probably do a little pooch punt or something, knowing you're going to play the battle of field position.
You don't have a ton of confidence in Edward Murillo, who's been good from 38 today, but his season long is 43, and this would have been 51. So they'll punt it. They'll try and put Alabama State with their backs to the wall. Kewan Riley is deep. Angle it away from him. And it spirals its way out of bounds. We'll see where they spot it. All the way up to the 15-yard line. Well, the ESPN College Football is available anytime, anywhere on your computer or mobile device via WatchESPN.com or the Watch ESPN app. Boy, you want to have that Saturday showdown Saturday in college football. What a perfect night it is in Alabama. Our Saturday menu we've got going on ESPNU. 3 games. Nice rivalry game in Virginia at noon. Virginia Tech against Virginia. 3:30, Vanderbilt and Wake Forest. And the Mississippi State tries to get its 4th straight win in the Egg Bowl for the first time since the 40s, while Ole Miss tries to become bowl eligible. Here's Isaiah Crowell getting popped by Marquise Mason after 6 yards on his first touch of the half. Crowell with his 10th carry of the day. Over 40 yards.
How do they call that the Egg Bowl? I could never understand the story behind that.
I feel like I didn't prep well enough since I don't know. Don't know.
The Egg Bowl.
Next time someone asks, I'm going to know, though. You know that.
I know you will.
Second down, back to Corral to the short side of the field. Hesitated and then surged for a couple. Adam Lucas got around the block from Landon Jones to make it 3rd and a long 2. Actually get a decently favorable spot, so I'm short 2. The trophy for the Egg Bowl, Barry Allen, our stats guys telling us, is a golden egg. What came first, though? The name of the game or the trophy? What came? Chicken? Yeah, okay. You got me. 3rd and 2. Jenkins design quarterback draw. And Jenkins getting into the open field. Reginald Woods with good speed to track him down, but not before 15 yards to the 37.
Jenkins able to extend the play, pick up more that was there. Design quarterback draw, but bounces it to the outside. And if Reginald Woods had to stay on his horse, Jenkins might have turned that corner for even more yardage. They're able to run the football a little bit now more effectively because, fortunately for Alabama State, big number 70, Taron Jones, is back in the ball game after leaving the first half injured.
Only senior up front for Alabama State. Play action for Jenkins with time to the middle for McWilliams and a first down into Tuskegee territory. One of the top receivers in Alabama State history gets 22 and a first down to the 42.
And that was great recognition by Jenkins of knowing where the weakness in the defense was. Waiting for McWilliams to get to the middle of the field, delivers a strike, and McWilliams holds on after 2 hits.
On first down, Corral with a gaping hole and a first down run. Isaiah Corral stays on his feet all the way to the 21. Jamar Hornsby, but not before 19 yards.
Can you hear how exciting the Hornet fans get whenever Crowell does something with the football? They've been waiting for this type of performance throughout the season. He's gotten better as the year's gone on. He shows you those flashes. Run in the middle, bounce it to the outside. He's a football player.
Georgia transfer, reigning SEC freshman of the year. Reggie Barlow happy with his running style early in the second half. Alabama State trying to draw even in this Turkey Day Classic. Jenkins has options. He'll dump it off to Gamble. His momentum was taking him out of bounds. Landon Jones, who was supposed to be a blocker, got nailed by Jamar Hornsby.
Good decision here by Jenkins. Gamble just steps out of bounds right there.
4 yards, though, 2nd and 6. Greg Jenkins, Detroit transfer, in his 2nd season as the starter at quarterback. Playing his final game at Alabama State. Malcolm Cyrus is in. Here's a screen for Jones. No blockers out there at all. It was almost as if only 2 or 3 guys had the play call.
Yeah, that was a great read by Greg Jenkins, the quarterback. They were bringing a blitz on the left side where they were going to run the play. He just pulled it and hit the wide receiver. That's what you call a built-in hot read. Rather than run a play where you know you're going to pick up negative yardage possibly, pull it out, complete a pass, and pick up a couple of yards. Good recognition by the senior quarterback.
Sets up a 3rd and 2. Cyrus nowhere to go. It was Adam Lucas out of his quarterback spot. It's a loss of 4, and it'll be 4th down and 7.
Yeah, just look at all the bodies you see on this side of the football. They're trying to flow. They never get set, and they're just going to stretch this play with nowhere to go. And the offensive line for Alabama State, horrendous job there. You had a couple offensive linemen didn't hit anybody on a play designed to go to the right side.
So Adam Lucas on Thanksgiving Day saying, "Feed me." 35 yards for Bobby Wenzel. 2nd made field goal of the day for the junior. Alabama State is within 4. It's the 89 Turkey Day Classic. Wenzel with a couple of field goals in the very first game in the new ASU Stadium.
I'm so
ESPNU College Football Primetime is brought to you by Cave Jewelers. Every kiss begins with K. Marching Hornets here at new ASU Stadium. First ever game in this new facility. They were working overnight to get it finished. They're working 18-hour days to get this place ready to go.
So I've told you my excitement about it, what I think about it. What do you think about it, Joe Davis?
From our perspective, the best view I've ever had to do a game.
Yep.
The booth perfectly positioned at the 50. And I mean, man, you gave me a tour before the game, some of the bells and whistles that you don't see from just being here. Pretty awesome spot. It's Mark Hughes on the return, and Hughes ripped down by Rodney Cross short of the 20. We'll have another video tour at some point today. Jay will take us through. Okay, so we're talking about the Egg Bowl.
Yes.
The reason it's called the Egg Bowl, the rivalry started back in the 1920s when the ball was shaped like an egg. And they pay homage to the time when it began.
Okay.
We were thinking too hard. It was very simple.
Very simple. Don't overcomplicate it and talk about making things simple. Tuskegee comes out, I formation, 2 wide receivers. Keep it simple. Run the football with Derek Washington.
It was a pass play, still is, and a good job to avoid the sack. But the penetration there from Quinn Bohannon, and so much for simple.
Yeah, considering the success they've had when they run Washington, they've gotten away from it. I don't think we've seen Washington get tackled for a loss behind the line of scrimmage all evening. That's your feature running back. Get them the football, but here they're going to fake the option down the line, but that play was broken up by Quinn Bohannon single-handedly, and Merritt did a good job of at least getting rid of the football, not taking the sack.
The Alabama State defense with 7 senior starters playing their final game, trying to get the ball back to the offense for the 4-point deficit. Three-step drop and a quick throw to Larry Cobb, who's got his first catch of the day. Takes him to the 26, and Kewan Riley brings him down where it's 3rd and 2.
So Alabama State's moved Riley from the free safety position over to the cornerback position, showing you he's got great coverage skills there.
Riley, the active FCS leader, 21 career interceptions, consensus All-American a season ago. Up for honors again this year. 3rd down and 2. And they go straight downhill with Washington, who stood up. It was Justin Nitzel who jumped on the pile last for the entire defensive line, getting the job done that time.
And the success they've had stopping the run game has been linebacker blitz. And they brought Brandon Roberts again up the B gap, anticipating where they would go. So that's been their answer, just trying to blitz the linebackers on the inside to shore up the run defense.
So punt team out of the field, Gene Stewart Moody, who averaged 44 yards and a couple of kicks in the first half. Malcolm Cyrus signaling for a fair catch at the 42. Talking about some of the behind the scenes looks at this place. We'll get one with Jay when we come back.
With a brand new playing surface and crowds that are right on top of the action, Hornet fans can watch their favorite football team on the field or on a huge HD Jumbotron. And this is where the Hornets will prepare for battle in their new state-of-the-art locker room. Private individual wooden lockers, HD televisions all throughout, and a sound system that can really pump up the Hornets as they prepare to take the field. Coach Barlow, talk about the performance of your offense today. Oh, he's not here yet. But this is the media room where he'll answer questions from guys like Joe Davis and Jay Walker.
You're good at that kind of stuff. I like that. You look good in that polo. Look at sleep.
I like that one there, yeah. Phenomenal. You know, you just can't talk enough about it. Those are the suites, and the suites, the indoor-outdoor is great. They've got the grass area, so you can come here with the kids and let them run around and play. The admission there a little bit cheaper than the regular seats there, so they've got it all.
Seats 26.5. No doubt had that today. Off of the bootleg. Jenkins with his eyes back against the grain. Smart senior play, 2nd and 10. Just looking back across the middle late. Any coach will tell you don't do that.
And he's such a good player. You wonder on that one, make a decision and take off and run. They confused him here on the play action. He gets on the edge. I mean, you can take off and run. If you're Greg Jenkins, pick up 4 or 5 yards. He decides to wait and settle for throwing the ball away. You're right. Offensive coordinators don't get upset when you get rid of it. But in that case, he could have picked up at least 5 yards running.
Well, made a man miss in the hole, and it got tripped up by William Buford, first-team all-conference player, or else he would have been off and running. 8 yards, 3rd and 2.
You know, he's an edge of your seat runner. You know, he's a guy that keeps you on the edge of his seat, just wondering what he's going to do next.
Here he is with a first down, running hard into Tuskegee territory. El-Malik Chin with a tackle after a gain of 6.
Good hard-nosed running there by Crowell. And so often what they like to do after you get a dose of Crowell, then they bring Greg Jenkins into the mix, allowing him to create plays with his legs as well.
Whistle.
For the bands, please not play when the quarterback is under center.
Good work there. I don't like it when the bands play mid-play.
Yeah, particularly it's Tuskegee, so they're playing.
And they continue to play.
Yeah, with the quarterback under center, so that's a warning. Next time it will be a penalty.
Wow. And keep in mind, Tuskegee, a Division II program.
That's a legendary band. You know, they've had some famous alum that played in that band. You ever heard of Lionel Richie? The Commodores? They were all members of the Tuskegee band.
Marching Crimson Pipers. Across the middle for T.C. McWilliams. El-Malik Chin with another tackle. Got 6, 2nd and 4. Flag down on the snap. This game struggling to find some rhythm right now.
False start, offense, number 4, 5 yards, replay, 2nd down.
So it's pretty much like it was an incomplete pass on 1st down.
You see Coach Barlow playing wide receiver. He can't understand why another wide receiver just can't line up in the formation.
Jenkins with time to find T.C. McWilliams, getting 6 back. Quavon Taylor with another tackle, leading Tuskegee in that category today. And it's 3rd down and 4 for Alabama State.
This is good patience being shown by Greg Jenkins. Tuskegee's playing a soft cover 2. Even if you go trips wide receivers to one side, they're still playing in that cover 2 shell. You got to pick them apart underneath.
Offensive line does the job again, and Jenkins took his eyes down and then got 1. So 4th down and 3 as Kendrick Blue made the tackle. They're going to leave the offense out there.
Just when you congratulate him on the patience, he decides to leave the pocket prematurely. Wide receiver open right in front of him underneath.
Big play coming here. Alabama State 2 of 7 on 4th down this year.
I look for a crossing route. This is the most dangerous man on the field. Is right here in the slot.
Six to snap it. And they'll have to burn a timeout. Perhaps trying to get Tuskegee to come off sides. Didn't happen. Reggie Barlow uses his first timeout of the half.
Coach Barlow, you know he wants desperately to win this game. He was fortunate, had a lot of success when he played at Alabama State, but take a look at the job that Reggie Barlow's done at Alabama State. 5-6, and then 3-8, they started to become some questions, some rumbling. You'll hear that. 4-7, they improved, but then 7-5, 8-3, and this year they got another opportunity to win 8 games. We talked about taking a program and dealing with the lumps, but then get them going in the right direction.
They were 12-21 in his first 3 years, 22-11 in 3 years since.
And give credit to Alabama State for sticking with their coach. So often in today's world, you see coaching changes when you get off to those rocky starts, but they thought they had the right guy for the job, and they've been rewarded.
So they bring the punt team out. Bobby Wenzik with a rugby-style kick. It's a good one, but it's going to bounce inside the 1. And one official saying touchback, the other saying down at the 1. Now they get together and say touchback. You can't do it any better if you're Bobby Wenzik.
Yeah, he did his job. Ball was bouncing around there, but Not a good job by the Alabama State punt coverage team. So you got to be able to bat that ball away. He tried to pick it up, bat it away, and he's touching it while he's in the end zone. That's going to be a touchback.
Marquise Lovett. So Tuskegee with a 4-point lead, and now the football at the 20.
First down, Tuskegee.
Not a lot of big plays during that first half. It's been a more quiet third quarter. Eric Washington. Brandon Slater made the tackle. 4 yards for the Missouri transfer, and the finalist for Division II's Heisman Trophy, the Harlan Hill Trophy. His one and only season at Tuskegee.
Making the most of the opportunity, and I'm sure really appreciates the work of his offensive line. They've done a good job controlling this line of scrimmage, particularly number 72, Michael Thornton. Left guard's been active, and they've had success running the ball to the left side of the line.
Going to the left side again. Washington thinking about throwing. Downfield for Gardner. Another big play for Markel Gardner. Inside the 20. 58-yard completion. Is there anything Derek Washington can't do?
Doesn't seem like it. I learned something about him. He's a lefty. They're going to his left with the pitch. He pulls up, and this is a he. He had to get it out there in a hurry. Not an easy throw. Once again, Markel Gardner finding ways to get behind the secondary of Alabama State. Great readjustment, holding on to the football.
And as they say in Friday Night Lights about Boobie Miles, and he can pass.
He can do it all.
So first down at the 19. Go straight ahead with a fullback. Michael Thornton with a few yards, 2nd and 7. We talk about Washington, but how about Gardner's adjustment?
Yeah, take a look at this. He's going one direction. Then right now, look at the vision there. He doesn't see the football, turns his head quick enough to get around, stop, and to make that catch look pretty easily. But there was a lot involved there, keeping your balance. Anytime as a wide receiver, you take your eye off the football, that's generally considered a no-no. But he showed you he had the hand-eye coordination to make the big grab.
Pass plan, 2nd and 6 to the end zone. Right on target. Touchdown. It's Khalif Williams with his 3rd of the season. And Tuskegee's in front by 2 scores.
Just a skinny post here, and the patience to hit him in the window. This ball's thrown on the money. Time and time again, Golden Tigers have shown the ability to get behind the secondary defenders of Alabama State.
Williams, only his 15th catch of the year, but 1 out of every 3 catches for him. 1 out of every 5 catches for him is a touchdown. Extra point from Murillo. It's a fake, and it's going to be run in easily for 2 points. William Buford, the starting strong safety, makes it a 12-point lead.
It's nice execution. Alabama State thinks they've got it and they can block it. Buford just puts it down there, becomes a foot race to the outside. Coach Slater bringing out all the tricks right now, and they've got a 12-point lead right now. That makes up for the blocked extra point they had before the half.
It makes Alabama State's missed extra point in the first half again stick out more. Tuskegee trying to get its 10th win in a row. Division II program from just down the road, down Highway 85, about 35 minutes from downtown Montgomery. The longest running HBCU Classic in its 89th year. Tuskegee's coming to town, and in this first ever game at ASU Stadium, it's pretty darn quiet right now.
Think about what Coach Slater told us on the call. How's your team going to handle going into that stadium, on campus, everything that happened? And he said, we've been playing this game basically at their stadium for years. It's always been their homecoming. They've always had a larger crowd than we have, but the field is still going to be 53 yards wide and 100 yards long. And he said that's the perspective he told his players you have to not get caught up in the moment.
Jared Neely on the return. And Jared Neely with a solid return to the 32. 30 yards on that run back. Let's go back to 2009. Talking about Tuskegee, the success they've had. Turkey Bowl 2009. Tony Forney with 103 yards rushing and a touchdown. Tuskegee set a school record, holding Alabama State to minus 57 rushing yards and blanked Alabama State 21-0. Arian Barnes had 3 of Tuskegee's 9 sacks on the day. The Golden Tigers went 9-2 that season. And they've dominated when you look at the numbers, the all-time series between these two teams. Landon Jones is lit up. I'm not sure how he even held on to the ball. Adam Lucas having a big night.
Adam Lucas has done that time and time again, using his speed. He's on the island out there at the cornerback position, but he's got the size. He's a big cornerback, 6'1", 190 pounds. He sees it, and T.C. McWilliams is not able to get the block on him in time, and gets a good hit on Landon Jones.
Second down and 14. Jenkins pressured. Can he get rid of it? Or can he keep the play alive with a run? Greg Jenkins with one of the more incredible 5-yard runs you'll ever see, and it's 3rd and 10. That's a Turkey Bowl, the Turkey Day Classic.
That looks like a senior quarterback realizes he's playing his last football game here at Alabama State. Just refused to go down. Great job getting to the line of scrimmage, picking up a couple yards.
3rd down and 9 for Alabama State, down 2 scores. More pressure, more good athleticism, and more speed from Jenkins for a 1st down into Tuskegee territory. Boy, Greg Jenkins on his senior day getting it done. A run of 27.
I mean, this is the athleticism that he brings. Offensive line protection breaks down. He becomes a runner. Got the speed to get the edge, pick up an extra 15 yards after he got to the sideline. Something you got to be concerned about, though. He's had to do a lot of scrambling the past 2 plays. The offensive line for Alabama State, they're just getting pushed around right now by the Tuskegee defensive line.
Whistle before the snap. It appears to be a timeout. It is. Tuskegee uses it 2nd.
Timeout. Tuskegee.
Now, Showdown Saturday on ESPN features 3 heated in-state. One of those 2 teams. I was going to quiz you, but we've got some support here to give it away. Would have you known that Minnesota-Wisconsin is the longest streak?
That one I would have known, to be honest. The other ones I wouldn't have even come close. I played for the Vikings, Joe.
Okay.
So, Minnesota, what is that, the Paul Bunyan Axe they play for? I would have got that one, Sue.
Okay.
Come on, Rook.
Got to give you a little more credit there.
That was the only one I would have gotten, I'm being honest.
Inside of a minute left in this 3rd quarter. Alabama State trying to get to within 1 score. And Isaiah Corral getting them closer. Isaiah Corral bounce into the sideline, and it's 1st down and goal for Alabama State. A run of 39 yards for the Georgia transfer. Landon Jones had a great block.
Well, this is a great job by Crowell with the vision and the way to change direction. You can see they sneak a fullback in there. What do I tell you all the time, Joe? Follow that fullback. That's where the hole is. Wham! Right there. Crowell sets it up nicely, and then he just does this in open space. That's that knack he has. That's just from playing football out there with the boys and not getting touched.
Columbus, Georgia, Harbor High School. Some more energy in the building as they go back to Corral, and he goes into the teeth of the nation's #1 Division II defense. 2nd and goal.
How stingy is the Tuskegee defense? Their rush defense, they only give up 100 yards rushing per game, 107 to be exact. That's great run defense, and in the air they're pretty good too, only 173 yards. So anytime you've got a defensive unit that's holding their opponents to less than 290 yards, that's a good bunch.
Some chirping as this 3rd quarter comes to a close. Going to be a good finish here in Montgomery.
And in the 3rd quarter.
Now you're getting tired from having eaten all the turkey, but stay awake. It's going to be a good finish. 24-12. Tuskegee in front in the 89th Turkey Day Classic as we go to the 4th of Alabama's capital city. On to the 4th quarter. Tuskegee 24-12 lead on Alabama State, opening up this new ASU stadium. Happy Thanksgiving to everybody. You're joining us for it. Jay, how about your 5 favorite Thanksgiving foods?
Things I have to have. Collard greens is on the ball. I got to do that. Number 5, cranberry sauce. Number 4, sweet potato pie. 3, I like the honey baked style of ham. Number 2, mac and cheese. All types of cheese, 5 cheese. And of course, number 1 is got to be fried, Joe. You were just going to say turkey.
Yeah, I was going to say my list would be a lot different.
Yours would be nice and bland. Yeah,
you'd
have like
turkey,
butternut
bread,
squash, bread, broccoli. You love broccoli.
I like broccoli, more bread. Play action on 2nd and goal. Jenkins can run if he wants, but he decided too late. William Buford and Christopher Jones pushed him out. 3rd and goal.
You called it. I mean, had he made up his mind that he was going to run that football in, he would have scored probably, or maybe got stopped a yard short. Instead, he made the late decision. He's outside the pocket. He's broken contain. Turn on the Jets. He's still playing around.
Field goal here doesn't do you much good because you missed extra point earlier in the game. It'd still be a 9-point game. Greg Jenkins on his senior day has been very efficient.
Bunch formation here on the bottom.
3rd down and goal. Pressure coming. Got rid of it. Touchdown! Jared Neely with his first of the season.
They needed that one there. What a nice strong throw by Greg Jenkins. All the way across the field. You can see Jenkins on that right hash. He's going to step into this throw and get it there in a hurry. Made the catch, secured it. Touchdown to Alabama State.
Now Bobby Wenzik for the extra point. He's missed one today. This one is good, and Alabama State is within a touchdown. Still with all kinds of time. There's no replay in SWAC games. So couldn't have looked at this again, but it was close.
Let's go. I think he had it right there. He was in the end zone, has the football. Then as he gets hit, maybe starts moving the ball around a little bit, but did a good job of making the catch.
Jared Neely, the first of the season, talented playmaker out of Rock Hill, South Carolina. Getting involved in this offense on 3rd down and goal. Greg Jenkins with his first touchdown pass today. Jenkins, a guy the coaches praise for his coachability. You know him a little bit. Talked to him before the game briefly. Really down-to-earth good kid.
Good guy. I mean, consider, you know, when you're on this level playing quarterback, he started out his career at Troy and then transferred over. So anytime you transfer over, you know, it takes a little while to adjust to the level of competition as well, but he's handled it well. Kudos have to go off to him.
Here's Mark Hughes, who's got some room with a nice cut, gets more room, and Mark Hughes gives Tuskegee good field position. Out to the 41 on a return of 36 yards. Bobby Wenzik, the kicker, made the tackle.
Hughes with the return for the Golden Tigers. Stopped by Wenzik.
Defensively, Alabama State, I think they're in a dilemma right now. You want to focus on Derek Washington running the football, but the Tuskegee wide receivers have proven time and time again you can't cover them one-on-one. Larry Cobb and Marquell Gardner have done a fantastic job of exploiting this secondary for Alabama State.
Both those guys 6'3". The corners for Alabama State 5'11" and 5'9". From the 41. Looking to throw. Lofting it down the sideline, and it's incomplete. Boy, threw that one up for grabs. Both Saeed Lee and DeAndre Rashada had a chance, but it fell in no man's land. 2nd and 10.
Yeah, he's going to make it rain with his throw. They're going to go up and touch the clouds and then come back into the stratosphere. Look at that ball just leaves our camera. Lots of contact, but right in between the cornerback and the safety. This ball's hanging in the air for a while.
Good thing they didn't decide to put a dome on this new place, but that issue there. Justin Nard, sophomore, took over the starting job late in his freshman season, trying to lead Tuskegee to a win here in Montgomery. Toss play for Washington into the teeth of the defense and shut down. Maurice Reese Tate hit him first, and the Alabama State defense drives him back, fired up right now. Justin Mitchell there as well. It'll be 3rd and 10.
Justin Mitchell, he's starting to take it personal with the running game from his defensive tackle position. He's fired up. We've seen number 95 pretty active in between the tackles and stopping the run. He's still fired up on the sideline.
This crowd has been quiet for much of the second half, but a reason to come alive with Alabama State within 5 and 3rd and 10. Nard out of the gun for one of the rare times. 7 dropping to coverage. Dumping it off to Washington. One-on-one, made a man miss, and a first down. Across midfield. 14 yards for Washington. Kewan Riley ran him out of bounds, but Winton Stewart looked like he was in quicksand trying to tackle him in the open field.
Yeah, and that's what it was. You know, I said the uh-oh because I knew at that play Winton Stewart had to make a spectacular open field tackle, number 9. Washington and Stewart, look how much space that is. Washington squares him up, gets to the outside. Good job by Washington of setting him up, and that's a mismatch. You know, Winton Stewart, good football player, but trying to make an open field tackle in that much space with a great runner like Washington, almost an impossible task.
What a big 3rd down conversion for Tuskegee, trying to win their 10th game in a row. Only 5 in the box, so they run at it. Nard pulled it out of the gun of the Harlan Hill Trophy finalist, kept it himself for 2. Jimmy Daniels with a stop. I'd like to see Washington get the ball straight ahead there against that quiet box.
Yeah, let him keep doing it. That's what the risk you take when you run the little spread option from that shotgun formation. The quarterback is taught any trouble at all on the front side, you've got to pull it and tuck it.
And boy, with that 3rd down conversion, they've taken the crowd right out of it again.
Look at the adjustment they've done. With the 4 wide receivers set, now Alabama State doesn't really know where to focus.
And again, just 5 in the box. Option play. Great athleticism by Nard to get out of it. But a good job by Alabama State to rally to the ball. DeAndre Rashada up from his safety spot, and again, 3rd down.
Previous 3rd down, swing pass to Washington, able to convert. If I'm Alabama State, I'm watching for the double moves.
3rd down and 5.
With either Larry Cobb or Marquell Gardner on the outside. Tuskegee has their 3 best wide receivers down here in this formation.
Tight man coverage. Nard with a quarterback draw. He's got room, but decided to run at a defender. Brendan Slater brought him down. It depends on where they spot him. Had he wanted to, he could have just run into open space, but trying to be the tough guy, and it's going to be close.
It will be close, and he was stood up, but I want you to watch number 72. I've been talking about him. He's just in pass protection, right? Nobody to hit. Once the quarterback takes off, what does he do? He's hit up. Here he comes. Bam! That extra little push right there by Michael Thornton might have gotten the 1st down for Alabama State.
Man, I know Nard wants to be tough and play hard, but he could have run for another 10 or 15 yards by.
Sometimes
he took
down
a left turn.
He took a left turn when he should have just stayed on the freeway.
I think so. It is enough.
But that's good. That's what you want to coach up right there. Michael Thornton, if there's, you know, just because you don't have somebody lined up over you, you have to go find somebody to hit. Know where you are on the football field. That's that extra effort.
1st down, Golden Tigers.
So the 2nd 3rd down conversion to this drive. The sophomore out of Evergreen, Alabama, directing this offense beautifully today. It's the fullback Thornton, who busted one off for 70 yards during the first half on that belly play. Chris Terry, backup defensive end, stopped him after 2 yards in 2nd and 8.
You were talking about Justin Narrett, the sophomore. Last year in this game, the coaching staff just didn't trust their quarterback enough. I mean, they were pretty open. We didn't allow him to throw the ball downfield. had a very rough freshman campaign, but here in his sophomore season, 9-1 start, better game management. They're starting to trust him more. It's starting to show on the football field.
2nd down and 8. Bernard changing the play at the line of scrimmage. 7 in the box for Alabama State. Belly play again. Thornton running through Stewart, but getting popped by Edward Mosley. And it'll be 3rd and short. 5 yards on the run, and boy, could Alabama State use a takeaway here. A team that's forced 19 turnovers over the last 6 games against his Tuskegee offense, putting together a good night.
It seems like a normal day at the office for them. They're just a couple yards short of what they average in total offense. If they can score a touchdown here, they put them right there at their average versus an FCS opponent, Division I opponent.
Converted 2 3rd downs on this drive. This is their closest 3rd down, 3rd and 3. They faked the belly and flipped to Washington. 1st down run. DeAndre Rashada brought him down. Tuskegee is 3 for 3 on 3rd down on this drive.
And all of their 3rd down plays have involved getting their best player in space and forcing Alabama State to make great open field tackles, and they have not been up to it. They call the quick pitch there to Washington, allow him to get on the edge one-on-one, and they've got the faith that he's going to win that matchup, and he's come through for them.
So 3 for 3 on this drive, 7 of 12 on the day for Tuskegee on 3rd down. From the 23, right downhill with Washington. Not much doing that time. Edward Mosley's had a good game. They continue to grind clock here and getting to a point where it can become an issue if Tuskegee can get 6 here.
If they can score a touchdown, wow, with less than 9 minutes to go, almost be a sense of panic amongst Alabama State faithful. Keep in mind that the field goal kicking unit for Tuskegee, shaky at best. Alabama State just needs to stop the bleed and get off the field on 3rd down.
Second and 7. 8 straight run play. Washington into space. Another 1st down, 1st and goal. Winton Stewart with a tackle.
They've been using run blitzes in order to stop it. They're going to bring a corner blitz from the outside. You're going to see the cornerback coming to the picture there. That's Darius Knox, number 27. Well, what does Washington do? Go inside, then bounce it to the outside. Can't make a living trying to stop the run by using blitz. You expose your defense.
You're looking at a tired Alabama State defense right now. 1st down and goal. Tuskegee looking for a knockout blow. Another run play. Washington makes a cut. Reaches to the 1. Maurice Tate made the stop. It's 2nd and goal.
They are really good at putting Washington in good space where you've got to make a tackle. You know, right now, open space, Keywan Riley, you've got to make that tackle. You can keep them on the 9-yard line. Missed tackle, Washington makes you pay.
Nearing 100 yards. Finalist for the Harlan Hill Trophy, Division II's Heisman. 2nd and goal. Alabama State needs to hold them to a field goal. Back to Washington. 3rd down and goal. Brandon Slater led the way. Keywan Riley was in there as well. Do you consider going to the air off play action here after 11 straight runs?
No, I'm going to stick to it. I mean, you want Washington to touch it, but I think now is when you do your favorite play. And what's his favorite play? It's the belly. I would do the belly. Come out, give it to the fullback on a plunge, and then realize even if he gains you a yard, you can still decide to go for it on 4th down if you want to and try and really seize control of this football game.
That's the fullback there, Michael Thornton, who's 230 pounds. 3rd and goal. They flip it to Washington. What a tackle by Riley. 4th down and goal. The senior out of Wetumpka had one-on-one with Washington and wasn't fooled with a juke move.
Yeah, you know, it's been their game plan to make them make open field tackles in space. This is Riley right here. Once he sees the pitch, he's got to make that tackle. Great recognition. He's there one-on-one. Wrap him up, Get him by the waist and hold on.
And Justin Mitchell cleaned it up. So Alabama State's defense gets the job done. Now the field goal team comes out. Trying to extend it back to 8. Just a 20-yarder for Murillo. He's made from 38 today. He's had 2 blocked this year. Low snap. But the hold is put down, and Tuskegee's got an 8-point lead.
20-yard field goal.
How about the senior from Montgomery's Jefferson Davis High School? It's an 8-point game with 5:22 to go. Alabama State with the ball down a touchdown. We come back.
Alabama State.
Wall introduces the
27-19, Tuskegee in front, 5:22 to go. Some of the people heading for the exits in a 1-touchdown game.
I understand that it's Thanksgiving and maybe they want to go home and get some turkey up in them, but you got a ball game down here on the field. You got to watch it.
Mario Bell back to receive this kick. But it's to Justin Robinson, who fumbled earlier in the game. Both hands on the ball for the 29. Of course, we've worked with this Thursday crew all year, Jay, and on this Thanksgiving, we want to say thanks to all of them. A long list of people that do such a great job week in and week out. Leo Hockenmeyer, clock and score operator. Lisa Harden, duet operator. We talked about Shane Wasserman earlier with that package he put together on the EVS. Justin Culverhouse, our lead cameraman. Eddie Verstrate, audio guy as good as there is in the business. Paul Miller, the TD. Mike Crivens, our ops producer. Corey Huffman, the AD. Robert Ringer, the AP. Rick Baker, Paul Davis, the spotters. Barry Allen, our stat man. And then last but not least, Paul Jushniak, Todd Koulis, our director-producer pair. Roll on from Jenkins. Cutting back for close to a first down. Be remiss not to mention Chris and Dan and John and Brendan with the Token Creek mobile unit. Yep. We appreciate everything everybody does. Really talented people down there that bring it every week.
How excited was Robert Ringer yesterday when he figured out where I'm from was going to be from Compton?
Oh, my goodness. Yeah.
He said the CPT is in the house.
Reginald Wood, not the only guy straight out of Compton. Here in Montgomery today. Robert Ringer, the associate producer, doing great work all year down in our truck. Here's Cowell with a first down. So 4:40 to go here. Alabama State within a touchdown. 4 out of every 5 touchdown drives for Alabama State this season have lasted 3 minutes or less.
4 minutes to go, then that means they're in good shape with some time to spare. But you got to think this drive right here probably going to determine the outcome of this ball game.
Flag comes in.
Flags on the play.
It's going to be a false start.
False start. Offense. 65. Replay. First down.
That's Edmund Davis, the center again, and that's the second time they've called him for a false start when you're the center. So he may be playing with that football. He's getting caught.
SWAC championship. You see in the top right of your screen coming up a couple of weeks. Excited for that one. Inside of 4 minutes left in this one as Jenkins corrals a low snap and has time to step into his throw for Justin Robinson. First down for the junior into Tuskegee territory. 17 yards before William Buford brings him down.
Yeah, good looking throw by Jenkins, stepping into the pocket, realizing where the pressure's coming from. Number 33, El Malik Chin's going to put a hit on him. But he gets there a little bit too late.
Cyrus running hard. And boy, it's not good to hear the lack of support from the crowd at this point. Alabama State down a touchdown in the first game of this new stadium. 3.5 to go. Injured player. It's Trey Mitchell that appears.
3:31 left in the ball game.
We mentioned coming up December 8th, the SWAC championship. Alabama State for a 3rd straight year loses out because of the tiebreaker to Jackson State, who they lost to by a field goal, and it'll be Jackson State against Arkansas Pine Bluff, 1 o'clock Eastern on December 8th. What do you see in that matchup?
Well, I think, Jackson State, Rick Comegys, he predicates his team on defense. They've got a really good defense. He's a defensive coordinator that's a head coach. And you look at Arkansas Pine Bluff, Monty Coleman, defensive coordinator that's a head coach. It'd be some great defense. I think Jackson State's been the surprise right there. Many people counted them out. And Arkansas Pine Bluff, they've been steady all year. Coming off that, let's take a look at the power rankings, Joe. On the bubble, Howard University.
Had to find a way.
Hey, they finished the season with a 7-4 record right there. Beat Delaware State, who was on the bubble with them. Number 5, we're watching Alabama State. They're in jeopardy. They may end up dropping. Number 4, JSU, Jackson State. They'll be in the SWAC championship. Number 3, I dropped Big Blue. They were the #1 team most of the season, but ended up losing 3 games late. They got banged up, so they dropped to number 3 in my power rankings. Number 2 team is Arkansas Pine Bluff. How steady have they been, Joe? We were impressed with them. They win the game they're supposed to when they need to. Monty Coleman's got to go. The #1 team at HBCU is
Bethune-Cookman.
You've seen them before, up close and personal, very physical. Brian Jenkins' team going to the playoffs this year. Be the only HBCU in the FCS playoffs. Hosting Coastal Carolina. It's going to be a good one. They've got great defense, and they really, really run the football well.
Good to see Trey Mitchell helped off. Junior out of Baton Rouge. Alabama State young on the offensive line. Mitchell, a sophomore, that'll have to come out. Down by a touchdown, 3.5 to go, and the clock running. 2nd and 5, and Jenkins in an empty set. Quarterback draw. First down for Jenkins. Up to the 31. Run of 9 yards. Amalek Chim with a tackle. Still plenty of time and 2 timeouts for ASU.
And with your line being banged up, I think you rely on the legs of Greg Jenkins to be your running game and just come out throwing the football the rest of the way.
Well thrown speed out to T.C. McWilliams for 5 yards. They're snapping the ball before the chains are even getting set.
They've got that sense of urgency.
Normally you say to yourself you don't want to leave too much time, but Tuskegee, with its style of offense, you don't mind as much.
Keep in mind, they would have to score and get the 2-point conversion as well, so maybe they're thinking if we have to go for an onside kick.
Tight end Robinson makes trips, motion into the far side. Jenkins looking to the near side. Landon Jones was interfered with. Kevin Fennessy. And that'll move him inside the red zone with 2:45 to go.
That's a good job by the defensive back in taking the penalty.
Defense, 21. Spotted a foul. First down.
Well, they coach and say, if you're going to give up a touchdown, just grab them. They had him on the double move. In that case there, Fennessy realized he was beat, did not allow Landon Jones to go down the field scot-free. Instead, saves a touchdown with that pass interference call.
So from the 14 now, inside of 3 minutes. Jenkins with time underneath T.C. McWilliams for a gain of 8. 2nd and 2.
Coming right across the formation, sitting down in the zone. Good job of gearing down by McWilliams, finding the soft spot of the soft zone coverage.
Here's Jenkins. Makes a man miss. Keeps the feet turning for a first down. And the senior on his senior day orchestrated a drive trying to get Alabama State to tie this game.
Yeah, Jenkins not there. Watch Taron Jones. You see him right here, number 70. Get back in the play. Hit somebody. Now watch the push. He starts driving, giving that extra lean to help pick up the first down.
First down and goal. Corral comes in and takes the handoff left side. Alabama State is within a 2-point conversion of a tie game. 2:04 left to go, and immediately you've got to start talking about what you call on this 2-point play.
Now, you know it all week already what you're calling, unless you've seen something dramatically different from the defense during the course of the game. But these plays are already scripted. You know your best 2-point play, and at this stage of the year, you know the best 2-point play you've been running all season long. It's just a matter of going out and executing.
What do you see coming here?
Greg Jenkins. I think they're actually going to try and get him on the edge and swing Crowell out to the right and maybe try that option pass that they've had success with.
They got 2 timeouts, and they'll use one of them here.
Timeout.
Ooh. Nah, can't do that. I mean, you know what two-point conversion play you're going to call. You should have that done. Plus, if you don't get it and they get the ball back, you need those timeouts. You've got to have the ability to stop that clock and get the ball back to your offense. Now you don't. Look at Crowell anticipating contact and still doesn't go down. I mean, this is special. So often running backs will go down from this hit here in the hole. He runs through the guy, lowers his shoulder, great pad level. That one timeout, I think that could be big. If they don't get this, that could be pretty big. You've only got one timeout, the team that you know is going to come out and run the ball.
Alabama State has not been able to recover an onside kick this year. Needing this two-point conversion to draw even. And remember, the reason they have to do this is Bobby Wenzik missed an extra point on Alabama State's first touchdown of the night. They're 1 for 5 on two-point conversions this season. Nick Williams, a man in motion. Jenkins rolling, stumbling, keeps the play alive into the end zone, and Tuskegee maintains a 2-point lead. Jamar Hornsby and Adam Lucas with the defense.
The conversion attempt is no good.
So they get the touchdown, but cannot get the two-point conversion. Jenkins kept it alive as long as he could, then heaved it into the end zone, hoping to find a pair of hands. But Tuskegee with a 2-point lead. Reggie Barlow upset. Now his team going for an onside kick.
So, where you live?
ESPNU College Football is presented by McDonald's. I'm loving it. And in part by Lexus. The Lexus December to Remember sales event is on. This is the pursuit of perfection. Alabama State, after the failed two-point conversion, now needing an onside kick to keep their hopes alive. This '89 Turkey Day Classic. First game ever in this new ASU stadium. Tuskegee trying to steal the show. Bobby Wenzik will try to get a big bounce for his onsides team to get a hold of. Straight ahead. Bouncing free. And a scramble for it at the 50 with a flag down back from where he kicked it. Was it touched before it went 10 yards? Kevin Finney jumped on it, looked like had a shot to recover. Sort things out at the bottom of the pile.
I've already seen one official signal first down Tuskegee.
And it was Finney.
Offsides on the kicking team. Penalty will be declined. First down, Tuskegee.
So a 2:01 to go. That burnt timeout and the two-point conversion are going to be huge.
It will. Let's see. They call the offside. Let's see. Anybody get to the line? Yeah. Great job right there in the center. Got there a little bit too early. Even had they recovered, would have been for naught.
They can stop it once. There's no 2-minute warning in college football, so just one stoppage. Tuskegee going to try and run this clock down and get out of here with a win. It would be their 10th in a row. Hard for a loss of 2. Alabama State uses that timeout. Take a break with them. Back for the finish. A minute 54 left to go in Montgomery.
College
game. First down, conceal it for Tuskegee. Second down and 12. Alabama State is out of timeouts. And a flag down.
Saw some movement on the O-line for Tuskegee.
False start, offense. Number 72, 5 yards, replay, second down.
Well, hypothetically, if Alabama State is able to force a 3 and out, they'll have somewhere in the neighborhood of 25, 30 seconds when they get the ball back.
Yeah, and right now it's not a matter of the penalty helping out. It's a matter of how much time will be left on that clock.
Right.
You know, if they get a chance to get it, they're going to have to go a long way in a short period of time. And we've seen it now. It takes at least 15 seconds to get a field goal try. You don't have any timeouts.
All 11 players within 3 yards of the line of scrimmage. Toss play for Washington. Spins his way for a couple. Saeed Lee up to make the stop.
Lee with the stop for
third down.
And I'm a little surprised. I wonder at what point do you maybe consider just taking a knee if you're Tuskegee. I mean, you know, Alabama State's going to be trying to strip that football away. You know, the chances of you getting 3rd and 14, 15 running it when they know you've got to run the ball are very slim. I'd eliminate some of those ball exchanges and maybe just take a knee, wind the clock down, and punt it away.
And Alabama State has forced 3 turnovers a game over the second half of the season. Not got one tonight. So they'll snap it with about 1:10. The belly play and nothing. Carlton Jones shuts down Michael Thornton. So they'll get the ball spotted. And then 40 seconds will run off. Play clock has begun. This ball will be snapped with about 20 seconds left. No more than 20 seconds.
And I'm sure Tuskegee will let the clock get down to about 1 second left on the play clock, call a timeout, and shore up their punt coverage. So good news for Alabama State. Fielded cleanly. You should have an opportunity to get the ball back. Bad news, less than 25 seconds with it. That's tall order.
Coming up on the Lexus HBCU post-game report, we'll recap this 89th Turkey Day Classic. Memorable day here in Montgomery as they open up the new ASU Stadium. You set up a return, or do you bring 10 guys trying to block it?
It depends on what you see, what you've scouted for them. Do they have some leaks in their protection? We haven't seen Alabama State come after the kicker yet.
Well, it's been a fun day for us, and glad that you've spent some time with us on this Thanksgiving. We'll welcome you back into the broadcast booth with Jay Walker, Joe Davis on hand. What are your lasting impressions day one of this place?
Oh, phenomenal facility. They need to get some victories in here for first, but it's state of the art, and they should be proud of it.
Malcolm Cyrus trying to return it. Oh boy, great coverage by Tuskegee. So from the 9-yard line with no timeouts, they'll go to work with 17 seconds, needing a field goal to win it.
And that was a risk. They came after the punter, and if you don't get them, there's nobody to set up and block for the return man, so you're really putting yourself in a bind. And the good thing for Alabama State in this situation, Greg Jenkins has a very, very strong arm. I mean, he can throw the ball down there 50, 60 yards. So maybe now you think about a jump ball right away.
Because you're going to need that to have a chance at a field goal. It's going to have to happen first play. They needed to get it to the 30 in Tuskegee territory to get in Bobby Wenzig's range. It's unlikely they've got enough time to do that. Unless they're able to get it done right here. No timeouts, down 2 from their own 9. Jenkins going to show off that arm to Mario Bell. Incomplete. Boy, that's the play they needed. Broken up by Finney at the final moment.
Intended for Bell.
Yeah, I mean, he actually got behind the defense, which is a no-no, but the last moment, Finney able to jump and get a hand on that. That was the play they needed. They actually had a trailer coming had that ball been tipped and hung in the air a little bit longer. There's another Alabama State wide receiver that was in the vicinity.
Jenkins throwing an interception. Adam Lucas with his 7th of the year. That's top 5 in the country. And Tuskegee's going to win the '89 Turkey Day Classic and steal the show on day one of the new ASU Stadium. They've won 7 of the last 9 Turkey Day Classics, playing up one class. They forfeit their opportunity to go to the Division II playoffs to play in this game. Traveling just down Highway 85 here to Montgomery every year. They don't get any home games in this series. And they come on Alabama State's home field. The first ever game in this building. And really controlled it throughout.
Impressive performance. I mean, they came in here. It's hard to call a 9-1 football team the underdog, but many people thought they were the underdog, and they took the crowd out of it when they needed to, ran the football, and had the big plays. When it was time to make a play, it just seemed like Tuskegee made more of them than Alabama State did this afternoon.
Win number 10 in a row for Tuskegee. Alabama State season finishes 7-4. Tuskegee still with a game to play, the Pioneer Bowl against Elizabeth City. It'll be December 1st in Columbus, Georgia. We're going to take one more break and come back with Alexis HBCU post-game report here in Montgomery.
Next Gear is
Welcome back to the HBCU post-game report, brought to you by Lexus. Tuskegee, Division II school, comes here to Montgomery, takes on an FCS program in the '89 Turkey Day Classic. They ruined this opening of this new building, 27-25, the final score. Back into the broadcast booth with Jay Walker, Joe Davis on. Happy Thanksgiving, and I'll let you wish whoever you'd like a happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving to my wife and to my family, to my mom back in California. Thanks for allowing Daddy to do his job.
And to my family, my fiance back home in Michigan. Though we say ruin the day here by Tuskegee coming in and getting the job done, but still a special day and a real special place here.
Very special place, great environment, but this is going to hurt the Hornet fans for a long time. For as long as this building is in existence, Tuskegee's going to have the opportunity to say, we won the very first football game ever played there. That's going to sting the Hornets where it hurts.
And, you know, you saw before the game Tuskegee's players shouting, "This is our house." Right now they're dancing in the midfield logo at Alabama State. And like you said, it's going to be sour watching Tuskegee run onto the field and Alabama State walk onto the field. It seemed backwards from what it should have been. Let's look at the highlights from this ball game. Alabama State had an early lead and an Isaiah Crowell touchdown run. Missed the extra point, and that would come into play later. How about Derek Washington of the day he had?
He was phenomenal. Power running, that's what he does. He's a great one, but this is what really hurt. The ability for Tuskegee to hit the big play. Tuskegee didn't move the ball continuously down the field. They got big play after big play, exploiting the Hornets. They didn't have an answer for it.
This got them within a touchdown, and then this got them within 2. A little more than a couple minutes left, but this is a 2-point conversion, no change.
Yeah, they called a timeout to set up a 2-point conversion play. It did not work out for them, and when Tuskegee got the ball back, they just sat on it. That hurts. Tuskegee's got the trophy here. Good day for the T, the U, SKE, the GEE, Tuskegee. Woo!
Wow, did you practice that?
All week.
Tuskegee gets it done here in the '89 Turkey Day Classic. They take the trophy home. 27-25, Tuskegee with a win. Coming up next is ESPNU Film Room with Jay Walker and our entire wonderful, wonderful Thursday production crew. My name's Joe Davis, saying so long from Montgomery, and happy Thanksgiving.